Hello? Boop. Hi, welcome back to book club. We're so back. Sorry if there's any shuffling. I have a cat on my desk currently, and he's very small. He's so sad all the time. I've been out of the house all day. And he's like, I would love nothing more than be near you, but I need to be on desk. But so I put a box on the desk, and now he's inside the box on the desk, which is his prime baby spot. So now he's right next to me. If I had my camera plugged in, he's right under my hand cam, so I could probably I could have turned on my hand cam and had a boy cam, but that's a little bit too much setup for today. But let us go through our hellos. Welcome in Ray, welcome in Fable, welcome in Kama, welcome Ideas, welcome in Mego. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys are having a good night. I took another nap, as usual. I've been like getting up later and later lately. Hi, Sinor! We're Sarah back. Yes. You could have said it's good to see you, but you've gone for the harder option, which I respect. Thank you for putting in thanks for putting in your tickets. Thank you. But we're back to Umineko. We're back to Umineko, so I will ask to keep the topics on topic for Umineko. If we talk about something vaguely related, it would be okay, but we're just trying to keep things on topic. And if it does come up, if something like weird and if I bring up something off topic, it's fine, but like let's keep things nice and on topic for today. Anyways, I've been sent one post like 4 or 5 times this week. I'm like, I don't know whether I'm like mad about it or if I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Anyways, will I become gay and depressed if I play Umineko? The answer will surprise you. The answer is yes. Anyways, we're putting that in the corner of the screen. Or should I put that on the... Yes. But hello. Last time we played Umineko was before I left on my trip. My cat is out of the box again. Come sit in your box. You love it in there. I was paying attention to you until Sus. Oh, there he goes. He's off. Where are you going? Little man, little baby man. Oh, bye. He's decided to leave. This is so sad. He hates me. My son, he hates me. It's a tragedy. Oh, I was like, where did I literally grabbed a drink right before stream, and then I completely forgot where I put it. But last time we were in Umineko, we were dealing with some shit. Rosa sucks as usual. I'm willing her a very unhappiness forever. I'm also wishing Maria a very I'm adopting you. And there's also whatever the fuck that last murder was. I'm pretty sure it didn't last time. I think last time we played, I think the last thing I remember was like a really horrific gory scene. Well, obviously not being shown because we can't show that on Twitch, but like I was like, hello? It was like, you didn't do your homework, so you're gonna have to learn. I mean, you can still appreciate it. You just won't understand. The thing with Umineko is you can kind of go a little out of order in the beginning. Because all of the... I think each chapter has its own, like... murder. Like, all the murders slightly change from chapter to chapter. So, But yeah. Because what? It was like... kind of was like... I don't want to, like... I don't really want to phrase it in this way. I really don't want to phrase it in this way, but it's the only way I can think of, like, phrasing it. With the scene with Kennen, I was like, wait, that's kind of hee. I was like, that's sick. I'm someone who, like, isn't particularly, turned away by, like, gore. I'm not, like, turned away by, like, gore or gross things. So that whole scene, I was just like, whoo. I felt crazy. In that moment, I felt a little crazy. But, you know, I was like, it depends on what happened. Yeah. The thing is like, if it's just like gore to have gore. See, like, the thing is, I love, like, one of my little things I love learning about is, like, rare diseases that, like, obliterate your body to smithereens. I love learning about, like... You what? What does that mean? What does that mean? Like, I love... So, I feel like this is, like... This isn't, like, a childhood thing, because I was, like, super obsessed with medical dramas when I was growing up. So... Because Grandma Gehenna was super all about Grey's Anatomy. That was, like, the show she would watch, and I would be there watching with her because she'd be like, come watch this TV show with me while we eat dinner. And so we would watch it and we would eat dinner, and then I would watch people die horrible deaths, and the melodrama and the, like, operation scene. Listen, if I, like, wasn't mentally ill and had the, like, mental fortitude to do it, I could have become, like, a doctor or something. That could have been, like, an alternate reality where I could have been a doctor instead of a conductor. That's the evil timeline. Here comes the scalpel! Here comes the scalpel! Would you trust me to do surgery? Tell me, be honest. You can be honest with me. Would you trust me to do surgery? I would do a surgery on you. Yeah. Not because I have a medical license, but because I love it. Listen, if I wasn't really into anime, I feel like I would have become a serial killer. Like, if I was born, you're already dead, why not? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you're already ghosts, so I can do a surgery on ghosts all I want. That's not medical malpractice. That's not operating without a I trust. Yeah. I feel like also, like, this kind of comes back to Umineko in a way, because I also, like, watched Higurashi when I was in, like, middle school. So it, like I watched the anime for Higurashi, and the Higurashi anime is brutal. It is really gory, and, like, really, it's a really tough watch if you're sensitive to gore, but I was like, wow, Viscera. Intestines! How did you know? How did you know I love that? Also, some of my deepest fears came from Higurashi. Literally any shit with like the, you know, like the medieval torture where they like rip people's nails off? That freaks me out. I can't do it. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Somehow the fingernail machine was the worst. It was awful! No! You don't vibe with gore, so you never watch those? That's true. That's true. That's understandable. That's understandable. Higurashi is so good, but like the anime is really gory. It's probably better if you read it, or read or watch it. Read or like read the manga or the actual original visual novel. If I remember correctly, the Umineko anime is also really gory. It's really, like, these murders are not, like, they're not shown, like, for a long time, but there's enough of them where you're like, ooh. I don't know. I have a love of murder mysteries and medical drama, so the gore doesn't bother me. Now we BRB. It's the same reason you don't watch Tokyo Ghoul. That's fair. I really didn't vibe with Tokyo Ghoul when it was like first coming out. I know so many friends who are like super into it, but like who were super into it at the time, and then they just didn't. They just didn't. They just like didn't like the whole show just didn't vibe with me that much. I don't know. Watching San Final Destination. Yeah, that's another thing, is like a lot of my family really likes horror movies, and I can't do. I really should try to get back. I really should try horror movies again, because I've been too scared to do it, because I can't really do jump scares. One of my favorite movies ever is a horror movie, but it's like few and far between are horror. Like, there's very few and far between in horror, like in terms of like horror movies I can handle. You know, I just don't like jump scares. It's the same reason I don't want to play like horror games. I'd like to, though. I really should give it another try. The thing is I really like I like psychological horror more than I like slasher horror, if that makes sense. Like, I like gore and I like that part, but I also like, there's something like, yeah, I mean like the suspense. Like, there needs to be some suspense to it. Maybe we'll have like a horror movie night. We'll pick one that's not that scary. Maybe I'll make you guys watch. Wait, when it gets closer to Halloween, we can watch my favorite movie, Crimson Peak. It's my favorite. I love it so much. Aesthetically peak, honestly. Is it peak content? I mean, it's a Guillermo del Toro movie. So yeah, kind of peak. Because they use like practical effects instead of, for like the ghosts and stuff, they use like practical effects, and it's set in like, it's historical horror. So like, it's super aesthetic. CG is distracting. Yeah, I don't really like CG. This is another thing. Especially with like modern horror stuff, I'm just like, man, I don't know. Like, I really love practical effects over CG. Like, I know it's more expensive to produce, but, like, if you combine practical and CG, oh, it just hits right. It hits. It hits. Cause it's like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, and it's like, I'm not a professional horror movie watcher, so I probably am not the one to be passing judgment. But it's like, I really want to play. I want to like watch more horror. I want to play more like horror games that I find interesting. Like, I really like horror games that have like mystery to them. Pocket Watch. Pocket Watch? What is that? Oh, you're talking... It's not Pocket Watch, it's Pocket Mirror. But yeah, that's on the list. We're gonna play that after. So the plan with that is I think that we're going to play Pocket Mirror on my channel with Parfait after we finish Goody Two Shoes on her channel. So we'll be switching roles, so I'll be in control of Pocket Mirror. So that'll be fun. It's time to crack open a cold one. but yeah, there's a lot of like cool horror stuff that I really like. See, the thing is like I like horror anime. Animated horror is fine. There's something about animated horror that like hits different. Goody is a lot more of a game, but Mirror is concentrated horror. I feel like Goody Two Shoes was an excuse for Agile Shift to make a bunch of mini games and puzzles. Because I think it's the thing with Goody Two Shoes is that it had like, because like Pocket Mirror was like their passion project, and then it did really, really well. So they were just like, let's make a self-indulgence prequel. Like, Goody Two Shoes is so, like, that's the reason I like it so much, is that it feels so self-indulgent, and it's so over the top in its thematics and, like, ways it does things. Goody Two Shoes looks really cute. It's really good. I really enjoy it. It's definitely, like, aesthetically, I think it's one of, like, the, like, its UI and everything is just gorgeous. I just love it so much. I think it's really good. And it's like, for a long time I thought that, I was kind of like sick of games with like dating mechanics in the game. Cause like, obviously I was like a Fire Emblem fan back in like Awakening days. So like, after a while I was just like, kind of sick of like having to deal with like marriages and like romance all the time. Kind of tired of everything being a dating sim and also another game. But like, Goody Two Shoes ties it in really well. So... But yeah. Going back to Umineko and subsequently Higurashi, I watched Higurashi way too young. I feel like it's irreversibly scarred my, like, my brain. So now I'm like, oh. Gore? Oh. Brutality? Yeah, I can witness that. That's fine. Perfectly fine. I will not be upset about that. You actually watch season 2 before you watch season 1 of Higurashi? Settling. Who the fuck in my room? Scamp! Scamp! Hi, Mr. Baby. Bye. He's mad because I've chased him out. Because he was getting into something. But we love unfettered internet access childhood. Yes! I miss it so much. I miss, like, I don't know. I feel like the kids these days don't get it. Yeah, no, Higurashi's stuff is, like, labeled weird. I think I watched some of it out of order, too. Because it's pretty long. Like, there's a lot of episodes of Higurashi. But yeah, I'm like, I think about, like, how free the internet was back in the early 2000s, and then it, like, now everything's just, like, social media, info sites. The world died a little when they killed Flash games. A little. I'm gonna be real. Though, they did bring out... I think they brought back ZOMG from Gaia Online, which was one of, like, my main haunt in middle school, where me and my friends would just hang out and people watch. And, like, just, like, chill. We'd just, like, talk and, like, be in, on Gaia Online. We'd talk about our favorite anime, and it was awesome. Back when a full season was 26 episodes? Yes. It was absolutely during the era where things were longer. I feel like anime is getting to that point again, though. I feel like we're going back to 26 episodes. Never got into Gaia, but that and Ragnarok looked neat. Yeah, I didn't play too much Gaia, but, like, I didn't play Gaia. I hung out in the chat rooms in Gaia with my friends, and we'd talk about anime for hours. That was what we did in Gaia, and we'd play dress up, obviously. And we'd just, like, collect outfits. And do, like, dailies and stuff. But I played, like, a couple of, like, early MMOs. I can't remember which ones I played. Like, there was one that I played that was so cute. But I can't remember the name of it. All I remember was it was, like, pixel art, which was awesome. And I remember not getting far into it because I got, like, distracted. Was it Grawl? I don't think it was. I think it was something else completely. Let's see if I can find it. I wonder. Let's see. I played a little bit of Wizard 101 when that was new. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. See, the thing is, I like look up these things and it just doesn't. I didn't play a lot of Wizard 101 because I was too poor to pay the pay to play it. PM. And I like kind of was like busy with other stuff at the time, but I liked it what little I played. Yeah, I didn't really. Yeah, see, the thing is like, my family wasn't really like well-to-do. Like, we were super poor. We were like super poor. So we really didn't have the money to spare for like me playing MMOs. So have returned, your mom came by. Did you ask her for a RuneScape sub? Why not? Oh, hell no. Oh. But yeah, that's like the, I was too scared to ever ask for money for subs. Yeah, that's the main thing as well, is that I didn't ask in the first place because I knew I wouldn't be able. I knew that the answer would be no already because I knew that my mother could not afford it for me. So, so I just like didn't get one. I just didn't get any, you know? So I only really played like free MMOs. Yeah, I played like free ones that like you could download and then you literally could just like download and like play. And then I played a lot of games that were like free on my computer. Like they were just like naturally in my computer. Oh god, what was the name? We were talking about it on stream once. Oh god. I'm trying to remember. Spotted something interesting? Maybe. I can't find the name of it. What was the name of it? I had this one game that was free until your foolish brother uninstalled it. What the hell? You should kill him. What was the game? I couldn't find the game's name. I forgot. I know we went over this on stream a long time ago. But, like, I forgot what it was. It was like it's taking up space. No. But bro, it was free. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, that was the game! That was the game's name! We were playing the same fucking game! It was Fate! That was the name of the game that I played. I was obsessed with that game. Yeah! You could get it for free on the, like, I think, like, I think it was like Windows 7 or Windows 8 had like a list of games you could download and play for free. And Fate was one of them, along with like Solitaire and like the basics, you know, like Solitaire, mine's it's called Wild Targent, yeah. Yeah, I had so much fun playing Fate when I was younger. That would be a really fun stream. I feel like I really want to go back and play it again. It's on Steam. It's like on Steam for... And there's like a bunch of like sequels and stuff. Let's see. It is on Steam. Yeah, it's on Steam. I'm really... And it's like a roguelike game. It's like... I feel like that's like an odd one. The fact that it's roguelike. Like, I feel like that's like a more modern... Like, I know roguelikes have been around for ages, but like they've gotten really popular in the last couple of years because people don't have attention spans to play story games. So, but anyways, it's been like it's been almost an hour. We probably should start reading Umineko. But yeah, I think a Fate stream would be really fun. That would be a really good callback. Callback to my childhood. I was awful at the game, but I loved it still. It was a classic dungeon crawler. Yeah! It was really fun. I really enjoyed playing it. It was like my first like little taste of like fantasy dungeon crawling back in the day. It was also like my first taste into like PC gaming. I really should buy it. Maybe I should just buy it now. I have my Steam page open. Hold on. Ooh! You can get all 3 games. You like that one? Zona 2 Next is also sick, but that one isn't a roguelike. Oh, I'll put Fate on my wish list to pick up later. Zona 2 Next. Ooh, this looks awesome too. I love that like classic look of like early games, like early 3D. Let's see. Wait, this looks awesome. Adds that to my wish list as well. Ooh. Oh, it's a JRPG. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm like really excited. I'm gonna probably pick up those games after stream. I might put them on my schedule next week. Who knows? I might put one of them on my schedule next week. I've been in like a grindy kind of mood. I kind of want to replay Castlevania again. Another Castlevania game again. It's been a long time since we've driven into the minds of the Castlevanias. I kind of miss her. I miss my wife, Tails. Which Castlevania? I really like, Aria of Sorrow. The duology of those two games. Aria and something. It's in the Advanced Collection. I like had a... When I had first started streaming, I did like a massive binge of all the Advanced games. So I really had a good time with them too. It was like a nice time. Because I also played like Komajo Remilia, Scarlet Symphony. That one's a Toho game, but it's based off of like original Castlevania. I also played a bunch of, oh gosh, what's the name of the... Oh, Team Ladybug and WSS Playground made... They're releasing a new game as well soon. They made the Deedlit game, and they made the Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. And then they made, oh gosh, the Toho game. The Toho one. What's the Toho one? I have it on my list, but I can't find it. I know, I really like Metroidvanias. That's like my... That's my classic. That's my like... That's like coming home to me. I'm like, I really just enjoy those types of games. I like exploring, and I like exploring things. I kind of want to like... I need to buy the Switch version, but I really want to replay. I want to actually finish Dragon Mark for Death. I'm just going through my thing now. Like, what do I have? I have so much stuff I have to play. I have to play so many things lately. But we should be reading. Anyways, Umineko. It is Umineko time, in fact. Move myself there. Why is my audio not working? Hey. His sound settings, are you being funky again? It's like every couple of months my sound settings will just go on the fritz. Hi Graham, hello, welcome in. Hold on, we have to close and reopen Umineko. Damn you. Oh, there we go. How y'all doing? Good, we're starting to read again. We're getting back to reading. It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really awesome. We were talking about like games we played when we were younger. What's weird is like I didn't play a lot of like kind of going back to what I was talking about previously. I didn't really play a lot of Castlevania games as a child. Like I watched my stepdad play Symphony of the Night on the I think he had it on his PS2. or something, but it was odd. It was an odd time. So I didn't really get to like fully experience them, but I got to play a lot of like games in that like vein. But not actually Castlevania. Even though like Castlevania was so up my alley when I was younger. Yeah, it's like, man, I want to play old games. I'm kind of on my like PS3 era kick. Like PS2, PS3 era games are like my jam usually. That's like when I played the most games is the thing. Cause I had a PS2 and then I put like 700 plus hours of time into Disgaea 2. We need to get back to Disgaea is what I need to get back to. I'm a strategy game, Metroidvania. See, I just don't like games that are, the thing is like, I really didn't like vibe, I don't vibe as much with like 3D games unless they're like games like Atelier or like, or if like they're JRPGs. Like I'm not really a gamer, so I don't really enjoy games like LD Ring or whatever the kids are into nowadays. I like story. I'm a simple individual. But let's get to reading. We spent a whole ass hour just yapping. Hello, women. Oh, women, I love you so much. We're starting out strong. I forgot we stopped here. That face of yours is so pathetic, so go look in a mirror and you'll see how low you are. Naked and licking my shoes, right? Can you see it, Ushirime Battler? That's right, we were at a cliffhanger. Yeah! We were at a cliffhanger. I left us off at a cliffhanger last time. She was calling Battler incompetent, which is pretty accurate. He is incompetent. I can't believe it. Are you saying that's the truth? Yes. We've told you everything as we saw it. George folded his arms and started mumbling again, and the kitchen was once again wrapped in long silence. George, I'm fully aware how hard it must be for you all to believe that all so suddenly. After all, even though I saw it with my own eyes, I grow less and less sure what I actually saw. I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure I got into a fight too. And yet I almost feel like it was all an illusion. I see. So that's why you couldn't go into the details in front of Aunt Rosa. If you actually told her what you just told me, you'd probably be even more trouble. Yeah, Genji really did handle that one composedly, didn't he? If only I had the power to explain it myself. George had not actually seen it, and even when pressed to believe, he just couldn't imagine it. It was only natural, because even people who had actually seen it had given up by asking themselves what it was. Let's rewind the story a bit. Shannon, you said that when you thought Cannon was an imposter, you picked up some of the spider webs and came back, right? Why did you do that? Oh, that's right, I was thinking about that as well. Why spider webs? I happened to hear it from Kumasawa once. A long time ago, evil spirits lived on Rokkanjima and they, feared spider webs. And they say that there's a legend that people treasured spider webs as amulets. And, right at that moment, I think I was also a bit confused. When it comes to those old stories, Kumasawa is very knowledgeable. Well, spiders are very useful bugs, after all. Yeah, it wouldn't be at all strange for a belief system like that to come along. Spider representation? We're not bad-mouthing spiders? I'm sure that the Tori Shine was suppressing the power of those evil spirits. And because the spirit mirror was broken, the power came back. That power must be what allowed Beatrice to revive. If I, weak-hearted as I am, hadn't done such an outrageous thing. Shannon, you don't have to worry about that anymore. I don't blame you for it. Even when they butt you for funnies. I mean, they're just like protecting themselves, right? Since long ago, Shannon had often suggested that there was some kind of occult case for her meeting with George. After listening to her, George had grown to think that she was being a typical girl associating love with fate, chance, and miracles. He did think that smashing the spirit mirror offered at the Torii shrine was taking it a bit far, but he'd laughed it off and forgiven her, thinking of it as just a prank which showed how serious she was about her relationship with him. Just breaking a mirror in some musty shrine shouldn't have changed the fate of our meeting, and it would never cause any curse. So he tried to cheer her up, saying it was only a musty mirror covered in dust. Ever since I started working on this island, I've heard the story of a spirit called Beatrice from these co-workers. Bitten by spiders this year, and I'm just standing there. Yeah, some spiders are just rude. But they do good things for the environment, so that's fine. And they eat worse creatures that come to harm you as well. Spider bites are like... it's whatever, comparatively to the worst things that bugs can do you. Like other bugs, like mosquitoes and such. In the beginning, I thought it was ridiculous, but since it would appear indiscreet to say anything out loud... Outwardly, I conducted myself as though I also believed it, but could it really? She existed. Beatrice was in this mansion all along, but she'd lost her powers, and she wasn't able to appear. She did exist all this time. It's just that we couldn't see her. I'd like to hear Genji's opinion. I have no opinion. All I want to say is that at that time there were 5 of us in that room. Then I thought Kennen had returned through the back door. After that we carried him to the servant room. Something happened and now Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa will never come back to us. That is all. We've already explained everything we saw. I understand how reasonable it would be to try and force belief from someone who didn't witness those events, such as yourself. How could I believe it? I was sure it was Kennen. But it got up from the bed, and that's right. When it started to grope about in its room in that chest in that manner, I felt sure that it wasn't Kennen, but something else. Yeah, it was kind of like fingering... let's not say it like that, but... I doubt you'll be able to understand, George. The terror of that moment when the person I thought I knew well exposed what it was in fact someone entirely. I can't explain. I can't explain it at all. I understand. I can tell whatever happened. It was terrifying enough to give you a shock. Thank you very much, George. And they all fell silent again. Shannon kept crying no matter how many times she was consoled, thinking that listening to the witch's sweet whispers and breaking the spirit mirror on that day had been the mistake that ruined everything. The witch who whispered these things to you loses her powers if that mirror exists, right? I think she explained it to me a little, but I don't really remember. I think she said something about how she couldn't release her power as long as that mirror existed. What happened to this mirror you broke? I don't remember. I left it behind when I broke it, so that's probably how I left it. The when, as they say, was struck by lightning and disappeared, it must have sank in the bottom of the ocean. Well, I doubt picking it up and taping it together would make it start working again. What have I done? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. He didn't know if Shannon breaking the mirror really had started all this off. Although the servants didn't blame Shannon, they all seemed to believe that her actions had been the root cause. But even now, George wasn't able to go that far. All this talk about witches and evil spirits just sounded fake to him, even though he was trying to be open-minded. Even so, he listened seriously into Shannon's story, trying to find a hint that might relieve at least a little bit of the pain in her heart. Come to think of it, though it's surely different from the one in the Torii, I've heard that Madame keeps a mirror as a charm. Really? Aunt Natsuhi? Yeah, I believe she received it as a memento from her grandfather or something, and it functioned as a powerful ward against magic. A spirit mirror of high pedigree, I think? I've also heard of the same story. Something about the mirror having the power to reflect that which is not good and send it back. If we had that spirit mirror, could we resist Beatrice since she's a witch? Huh? When George proposed this, the servants looked up. The shrine and the torii where it was kept are gone now, but there are important things that there's still another spirit mirror. I've heard that Aunt Natsuhi's family is descended from Shinto priests. Maybe it isn't just a simple mirror. I'm sure I've heard Madame say she keeps it in a treasure box. I need to close my door. Hold on. Ugh. It might not be very large. I don't think its size is a problem. Even if the mirror I broke was just a small insignificant looking thing. If our opponent is occult, then we'll have to use the occult to fight back. Sitting around here won't solve anything. It's worth trying, if only for some peace of mind. Of course, this didn't mean George had accepted the witch. However, he thought it would be necessary to have some kind of purification ceremony to heal the wounds in Shannon's heart. Oh my gosh. So this story about Natsuhi's spirit mirror was really convenient. Let's go. I won't say anything crazy. Let's go get it and finish off the witch. However, I think it'd be useful to have some sort of charm that can protect us from her. Maria told me about it earlier, but the door to grandfather's room was supposed to be able to repel magic, right? That's our grandfather for you. It means he was pretty good at defense when it comes to the occult. Let's go to Aunt Natsuhi's room. But I think Madame's room is locked. We returned the master keys to Rosa, and even the key box in the servant room is now locked away. In that case, Aunt Natsuhi should have had a key on her person. Aunt Natsuhi's corpse should still be in the chapel. We probably shouldn't be disturbing it before the police come, but we can give it a full explanation later. However, the entrance to the chapel is also locked. Goda, you can't break a single glass window with your physical strength. You could smash it with a nearby rock. Would it really be okay to break the window of that important chapel? When grandfather gets mad at us, I'll take responsibility. From the beginning, I've been ready to fight the whole Ushirimiya family today. I've got to get them to accept my engagement to you. So, I've been prepared from the start. Let's break the glass. Then, let's borrow the key from Aunt Natsuhi's corpse. George's announcement said that he'd take responsibility seemed to have given the servants a great deal of courage. Shannon and Goda looked at each other, then looked at George's face again. Grandfather knows everything about the occult. I'm sure he'll understand if it's the power of Natsuhi's spirit mirror we're talking about. Don't worry, he won't get mad at you. I wonder if Madame's mirror will really be able to seal Beatrice once again. I don't know, but I think it's worth trying. So let's go. It's getting darker and darker outside. Quickly. Shannon, get a flashlight. Go to find something that looks like it can break the glass. Sorry, Genji, but can you be on umbrella duty? Yes, sir. The servants, who had been rejected by Rosa, gained a new master and started to move. George, who was normally calm and gentle, was now radiating dignity. Shannon checked the emergency flashlight, just in case she changed the batteries. Goda was testing several heavy-looking cooking tools. Normally, a highly praised chef like him wouldn't want to use them for something other than for their intended purpose, but right now he was frantic to fulfill the orders of the one he accepted as his master. After some worrying, he took a large, thick-feeling frying pan. Genji removed several umbrellas from the umbrella stand set in the corner near the kitchen door. He took 3 of them. George, you're kinda nuts. He's crazy for this. I'm like, okay, maybe he's a little okay. He's okay, but I think he's still a bit of a creep. But like, he's good in a pinch. His just romance is awful. I can't go with you. It would be embarrassing for me, the head servant of the Ushirimiya family, if we are all gone when an order is given. But Genji, even you must understand how dangerous it is to be alone in this mansion now. I can't go. I must remain here so that the master may call for me at any time. No, Riz. No. None. Genji, go and obey orders. Be careful not to make any blunders. Goda, I'm counting on you to set an example. Yes. Leave it to me. I'll surely fulfill my duty. You're sure about this, right, Genji? Yeah. I'm already at this age. All the days of my life now until spent repaying the debt I owe the master. The roulette will decide the fate of a senile old man like myself. I'll sit here and see what the result may be with my own eyes. As Genji sat down, as though saying he didn't intend to discuss this anymore. His gaze fell to the chessboard he'd played Nanjo on. When George saw this, he decided to leave Genji there. Let's go, everyone. It looks like the wind has died down for a bit for now. When George took an umbrella and dashed down the hallway, Shannon and Gota chased after him, each holding a tool. After they flew out of the room, Genji quietly stretched his hand out to the side of the chessboard. He softly pulled something there towards himself, covering it with his palm. Genji killed his breathing even more than before. As he did, something flashed gold. No! From inside an ice peel set on the counter, a small gold butterfly appeared, softly and silently. It was almost as though he'd seen George and the rest off, and was secretly trying to chase after them. Let's go, Genji! It happened in an instant. The elegant gold butterfly, flapping its wings, was pinned against the wall by the knife Genji threw, just like a butterfly in a bug collection. After the gold butterfly beat its wings several times, looking like it was in pain, it accepted the fact that it couldn't break free and became a fine gold powder and smoke and disappeared as though it melted into water. Genji still gazed down at the chessboard as though nothing had happened. Maybe he would think of a brilliant move very soon, but no matter what move he made, his opponent would not be able to respond for all eternity. Even though he knew that, Genji still searched for a brilliant move. Must have been the perfect way to kill time, during the short period before some fate would be given to him. He didn't know what the result the roulette would bring about, but that decision would be made very soon. No one could interfere with the tumbling roulette ball. The door to the parlor was not only locked, but blocked with a barricade made of sofas and the like. Because of that, Aunt Rosa seemed to suspect that any suspicious person approaching would break through the window. Sitting on a one-person sofa, her back to the door, she continued to hold on to her gun. I didn't know what was what anymore, and even though my body and mind were worn out, I played with Maria as she wanted. Maria had said it. Beatrice was testing us to see if we could solve the epitaph of the gold, so we tried to figure out the riddle. In the beginning, I was a little interested and tried to solve it, but I didn't even have a clue onto where to start in this weird text. I didn't doubt that there was some riddle hidden there, but I seriously doubted I'd be able to suddenly leap to an answer. In the middle part of the epitaph, we see lines going from the 1st to the 10th twilight, telling us to journey to the Golden Land. On the 1st twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the 2nd, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. It was obvious that this was hinted in the first 6 murders that had already occurred in the chapel, and Jessica and Cannon's murders. If this was being followed, we still had to be prepared for 5 more people to be killed. Of the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses still haven't been found. However, this follows the pattern in their sacrifices for the 4th and 5th twilights. They'll surely be found in a pitiful state, with their head and chest gouged. So we can expect that 3 more of us will be gouged in the stomach, knee, and leg and killed? Who will it be? Looked around the news, noticing there were 3 people here, but how should I put it? My emotions seemed paralyzed. Strangely, I didn't feel frightened. As I leaned against the sofa with the top part of my body, gazing up at the ceiling, Maria noticed. Apparently she felt I was slacking off in my riddle solving. She got mad at me for not taking this seriously enough. Hey, Maria. What was it again that Beatrice said she'd do if we solved this? I'm sure the witch wrote in her letter she'd give up on collecting interests or something abstract like that. I optimistically took that to mean she'd give up on killing the whole family, but was it really written with that meaning? For some reason, I couldn't convince myself that solving the riddle would really save me. I feel like maybe, even if we do solve it, it'll just be doing what the culprit wants, and it'll all be a wasted effort. No, that's not true. If you solve the epitaph, Bito's ceremony will end, so after that no more people will die. Really. Isn't that the rule? That's just something she made up. Whoever solves this riddle will probably learn the location of Grandfather's hidden gold. Then she'll definitely go after it and... She won't go after it. How can you be so sure? The gold has been Beatrice's from the beginning. She wouldn't go after something that's hers. Then why is Beatrice giving us all these big hints? Not just that, why did she even set up this game-like thing? Risk is essential for magic. Risk? I don't really know what you mean. For example, in a marathon, do you think a medal anyone can get by running? The whole thing is worth the same as the medal given by only the person who goes first? No, I don't. So what does this mean? In the end, she's just playing with us? Purposely giving us a chance? Wrong. That's how magic works. No matter how great a work of magic is, it'll always have risks and weak points. No, it must have them. I don't get this stuff you call magic, but if I can think about it as a gamble, I can understand a little. If you aren't prepared to lose big, you can't win big. And the slimmer the chances of winning, the bigger the payoff. That's right. And Bito really did explain the risk of the ceremony to everyone. So, if this riddle is solved, the ceremony will be suspended. After all, if she breaks her promises, there wouldn't be any risk. If we solve this, will she really keep her promise? Why are flowers beautiful even though they wither? Why is it that an artificial flower isn't beautiful, no matter how elaborate it is, even when you can't tell the difference by looking? Humans can bring about miracles by gambling on their deaths. If an undying human existed, they'd have no way of bringing about a miracle. That goes for us, life, the witch, and the ceremony too. If we don't bear a risk, we can't succeed in anything. What do we do if we solve the riddle? Should we raise a hand and cry, I got it, and tell the witch our answer and see what she says? I don't know about that. But if we solve it, the ceremony will surely end automatically. You sure know a lot, Maria. Did you learn all of that from Beatrice? So, if you don't bear a risk, nothing can be gained, is that it? That definitely isn't a way of the world. But it's sort of in conflict with the chessboard thinking I like so much. At least when making moves in chess, players grope for the best move, always trying to avoid risk and hoping for an advantageous turn of events. They don't trust a chance, like in gambling. That's right, there's no room for gambling in an intellectual game. And yet this person who called Beatrice has committed such an outrageous crime, or maybe a ceremony, while purposely imposing conditions for her own loss and announcing them to us. In chess, you always play your best move. So, by putting yourself in your opponent's position, you can predict their next move. However, we can't be sure that Beatrice's moves are always the best moves possible. Thought that she was probably making us focus on the epitaph to fool us in some way, speaking in riddles. But according to Maria, that alone was impossible. She said this was a genuine risk that the witch had taken, and therefore proof was that this was a formal ceremony for magic. I can understand this witch called Beatrice. If she's committing this chain of murders with some goal in mind, why did she go through all the trouble of composing the conditions for her defeat? No matter how I spin the chessboard around and think from my opponent's perspective, I can't understand why she'd give it up if this riddle is solved. Isn't it almost as though Beatrice doesn't care whether she wins or loses? Of course, chessboard reasoning won't work against an opponent like that. I don't understand. What is Beatrice after that making her carry out this crime? If she just wanted to massacre us all, she could have done it quietly, without this whole crazy setup. There's no need for that kind of kind-hearted advance notice, all this self-aware closed room stuff, or any of the rest. It's all overacting. I've got no clue what it means. Will I be unable to understand anything, as long as I keep thinking of Beatrice as a greedy human culprit? If I don't accept her as the witch, will my chessboard thinking be stuck before I've even lined up the pieces? If she really is a witch and everything Maria said is true, then there's only one thing for us to do. The theory building and discord and searching for the culprit had all been pointless. We should have all gathered in the dining hall, combining our knowledge to solve the riddle. By combining the knowledge of that many people, we might have been able to grasp at least a thread of the answer. The greedy humans, each desiring to gain something over their opponents, were getting offered up as sacrifices, one by one, without gathering their knowledge together. In the end, did the humans get what they deserved? They thought they were using their brains, but they were only thinking of their greedy selves. In the end, the chessboard theory is a thinking technique where you project yourself upon your opponent. So, greedy people see their greedy selves inside their opponents. I looked lazily at Aunt Rosa. She's probably tired from being all this tension the whole time. She couldn't sleep, but she kept staring vaguely at some point in space. Aunt Rosa had announced we couldn't trust anyone who hadn't been killed. Aunt Rosa's chessboard thinking. She saw herself inside her opponent. In other words, maybe Aunt Rosa was an isolated woman, unable to trust anyone and unable to let her guard down. Long ago, I think I heard a bit about it from my dad. Aunt Rosa was originally a very obedient child, but her age was far spread from the other siblings, and they often made conflicting demands of her during their confrontations. Thanks to this, she'd undergone a lot of psychologically harsh experiences in her youth. Often, when she copied one of her siblings, another sibling would give her a time. True, Aunt Rosa said many things today that could be taken as abusive, but that means those words were once showered upon her, which is why they were engraved in her vocabulary. Hi, Nox! The many abusive words that she'd spoken were also words that she'd been showered with in the past. Now that I think about it, I picked up traces of Aunt Cross and Aunt Ava in her style of speech from time to time. You're eepy? We're just relaxing. So, I understand. I assumed they were similar because they were siblings, but maybe it's more than that. For the first time, I truly sympathized with Aunt Rosa, who I once thought was warm and gentle all the time. Here, Eep, good night? Good night! Then what about Maria? Maria's been making a certain claim for a while now. If we can solve the riddle the witch displayed to us, the ceremony will be halted and will definitely be saved. And I think she also said that Beatrice will never break a promise. But this is Maria we're talking about. She herself never breaks promises, and she has the most innocent heart. So she believes Beatrice also won't break her promises. She's able to believe that. But isn't that just an image of Beatrice in Maria's mind? There's no proof that the real Beatrice always keeps her promises, right? I keep my promises. If you solve the riddle of the epitaph, you should be able to reach the Golden Land. When you do, the ceremony will end. No more people will die. So you're saying a complete monster like you follows the rules? I won't deny I am brutal and unjust and a monster. However, I am a witch. I use magic. In order to use magic, there are some rules that must be followed. Because I am a witch, I cannot neglect those. You should believe at least that much. So even after all the crazy stuff you've done, you're still telling me to believe it at least in the rules? I do play tricks. Of course, I also deceive people. I'm no different from humans in that regard, but not once have I disregarded a promise I've spoken. What about humans? Do you always keep your promises? Since we have catchphrases like keep your promises, it's hard to imagine we always follow them properly. From my perspective, humans are truly selfish monsters. There's nothing as dubious as a human's promise. Even I sometimes make contracts with humans, but you wouldn't imagine how strict an agreement must be made to just grant a single foolish wish. If there's even a small loophole, they'll immediately say something like, increase the number of wishes to 100, or go turn yourself into a bean. That's the thing that Dad always says. He says there's nothing as scary as contracts. According to him, it's natural that people who sign without reading them thoroughly will get chewed to the bone. He's made a killing through vice. I imagine it. When people born, they know nothing of fraud. They get it from somewhere. And so they learn it. Yes, the crimes of the human world where people must press up against each other. Let me see, I've heard that from a witch somewhere. Oh well. I'm not as heartless as you think, you see? Liar. You killed so many people, and you did it in such horrible ways too. How could you be so heartless? You say that you keep your promises? Don't say stuff like that. I won't accept you, ever. I believe my only way to resist you is by never giving up on that. I see. So, you're saying this eternal torture will be the same for me? Perhaps 1,000 years is a long time. Maybe a witch's true strength is decided not by their magical power, but the strength of their endurance. Yeah, I can understand how terrifying Lady Byrne is. Damn, you're babbling on and on about this incomprehensible stuff. Let's quickly get back to this eternal torture. I'm prepared to stick around for 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years. Good, good. It looks like you've regained some of your will to fight. It would be boring otherwise. Come now, don't you often see it in competitive games? Sometimes one player intrudes upon their opponent's territory, when the opponent is so weak that it's a bit of an anticlimax, so the first player loses on purpose to extend the game to the last round, during which they get serious and shower their opponent with blows, right? I don't get what that means. It's the same with wine. If you don't let it age well, it won't sparkle. You're the same as that wine. I'll carefully make you age. I'll raise you to be the best alcohol to atone my delicate, elegant time. So, don't give up only after this much. Keep on denying me. After all, as long as you don't accept me, it's nothing more than a fleeting illusion. I love her so fucking much. She's so woman of time. No matter how many times I see it, it's awful. I truly sympathize. Shannon, please get the key. Even though she's dead, Madam is a lady. I can't touch her. Of course. Shannon nodded sharply, her expression filled with a sense of duty. George, Goda, and Shannon had broken a window and were inside the chapel. Since they really hadn't want to break one, they'd search for another way in, just in case. But in the end, after proving once again that there was nowhere they could slip in through, it only became more obvious that the chapel was a mysterious closed room. Inside the chapel, time had stopped ever since the last time they'd left it. Even George wasn't able to approach that gruesome Halloween party again. It was only natural. It reminded him again of the sadness of losing both of his parents at once. And Goda, thinking the possibility the corpses might have changed in some horrible way now that half a day has passed, didn't want to let George get near them. Shannon followed Goda's instructions and approached the party table. Normally, Shannon might have resented having another dirty job forced on her, but now she could truly understand Goda's mental state. Even though Goda had prodigious skill, he'd gotten dragged into trouble, losing his job and ending up left on the streets, before Nazi gave him a new life. Though it had been just a casual unemployment decision for Nazi, Goda must have thought it as a turning point in his fate. Those around Goda could see that he felt a special kind of loyalty to Nazi, so he didn't want to lose that feeling even after her death. Now that half a day had passed, the bodies of Nazi and the rest had changed completely. Small bugs sniffing out the smell of death had started to gather. It really wasn't something you'd want to look at directly. Madam, excuse me. Because of her long experience as a servant, Shannon had an idea of which pocket Nazi kept the key to her room in. It would probably be this pocket. Her guess didn't fail her. Just by touching the outside of the pocket, she was immediately able to feel it. It's here. The key to Madam's room. Shannon kept the key up high, showing the others that it had been found. As Joe didn't go to watch her, their eyes opened wide. That wasn't the expression Shannon was expecting, so it startled her. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, sisters. After all, Shannon hadn't noticed. George and Goda, watching from afar, noticed it first. When Shannon held the key up high, a blizzard of gold leaf seeped from the outside the table. There they were. Countless gold butterflies. It was the first time George had seen them, so it might have looked like some kind of illusion. But Goda already knew. He knew that those gold butterflies were far from beautiful, and they would bring out some kind of misfortune. All that gold swelled, trying to suck Shannon in. Shannon! Run! Huh? Shannon also realized that gold butterflies were trying to swallow her up. She ran unsteadily, her expression still shocked. As she did, the gold butterflies danced around her all at once. They grouped together, tried to swallow her up. Shannon! Damn it, what is this? Are these the gold butterflies you're talking about? Outside, quickly, you bastards! Damn it. Shit! George and Goda rushed up to Shannon, driving off the cloud of butterflies. And while the butterflies were scattered, they ran towards the broken window. However, they needed a good footing to get out of the window, which was surrounded by shards of broken glass. When they'd entered, there'd been enough time to prepare for that, but now there was none. Let's go through the door. There's no time to look for a footing. It won't open, it's stuck. Give it to me. Damn, this piece of crack. George, quickly. Damn it, don't take me lightly. Goda took off his jacket, swinging it around and scattering the group of butterflies. But saying he's outnumbered would be a real understatement. It was undoubtful that it even brought them a short amount of time. George struggled with the broken handle. Its age showed and didn't turn well. Can't leave it to strength, it needs the right angle. There's some trick to it. George? Damn it. Monster. That moment, Goda saw it. He was seen by it. In other words, their eyes met. On top of the party table, no, with the stained glass behind it, floating, laughing, was the figure of the witch. He saw the figure of the laughing witch in the center of the golden whirlwind, with the golden butterflies fluttering about at the ready. Beatrice. It should have been Goda's first meeting with her, but he knew her at a glance. Just like the other servants had said, this certainly was a witch of the portrait herself. It's almost time for dinner, is it not? I am the host of this mansion now, so I must give you a warm reception before your wonderful dinner. And look, we even have 3 people fit to order. My. How truly, truly convenient. It's open. Go quickly. Beatrice. Huh? Are you sure it's a good idea to just stand there? You think this place will make a fitting cemetery for yourselves? Be my guests. I must praise your spirit for wanting to stay by your former master's sides and serve them even after your death. The golden whirlwind that wrapped around the wish burst. It was like an evil hand had literally spread its fingers and was trying to attack them. The cloud of gold butterflies attacked with the fluttering sound. Hurry! We can't stay here. George's voice brought Shannon and Goda back to their senses. Standing here now would make them like frogs getting stared down by a snake. They had to resist. They had to fight this incarnation of the new brutal and fighting order which Rokkenjima had been enveloped. There was no time to take out their umbrellas. The three of them dashed out into the pouring rain. The three of them never realized because they didn't turn around, but the gold butterflies apparently couldn't handle the rain too well, and this hampered their ability to chase after the humans. Three people ran from their golden pursuers and flew into the mansion. How nice, how nice. It wouldn't be as fun as any other way. Go! You can make it! Oh! They unlocked the door and dashed into the room. A bit of the scent from Natsu's favorite gentle incense remained there. However, there was no time to let that calm them now. Where is it? You said it was in a treasure box, right? It's just a story I heard. I never heard exactly where it was. I think I'll probably be in her dresser or next to the bed. Shannon's womanly sensibilities led her to conclude that. Next to the bed there was only an incense burner, a half-red novel, and glasses. However, the dresser was elegant and had many drawers. It would be understandable if she kept some of their valuables there. Natsu, sorry, he began to violently open each one. He had to hurry. He couldn't actually hear footsteps, but he had the feeling the witch was approaching. He had a feeling that her laugh was approaching. He emptied the drawers one by one and examined their contents. Every small box for makeup looked like a treasure box, and the amount of effort it would take to expend all of them make him feel a little dizzy. Maybe it's this box. It's locked and I can't open it. At a glance, it looked slightly larger than a music box. It was shaken and rustled as though small objects were inside, but it was locked and didn't open. Normally you'd hide the key somewhere nearby, though some people would always carry that on their person. I don't know. There's no choice, break it. You can't do it with force, right? We might break the mirror inside. Could there be a tool to pry it open? Damn it. Goda looked all the room, trying to see if there was some tool they could use. He noticed the door, which had been left open since then they entered. He approached the door to close it and saw the abominable shadows of people approaching from the darkness in the hall. No, it wasn't shadows or people, because they weren't human at all. Gorgeous, hurry. It was the shock of seeing a procession of those not in this world. He was a servant, so he knew all the servants working for the Ushirimiya family, but he didn't know about these. However, they were definitely servants, not servants working for Kinzo or Kraus. These new servants that worked for the new master in the mansion was the Golden Witch Beatrice, had goat heads and bright red, boiled eyes of lava. As the new master laughed loudly and trimly detected the 6 of the new servants, he saw them approach, piercing the darkness as they came. Of course, she was clad in the gold butterflies that were her symbol. Goda hurriedly closed the door and locked it. However, as he locked it, he returned to normal, as though a spring or something had knocked it back. It gave the illusion that some prankster beyond the door was unlocking it every time he locked it. They couldn't have reached the other side of the door yet. So who was doing it and how? It almost felt like playing with a broken toy. Clip, boing, click, boing. Ooh. It won't lock. Even if I lock it, it unlocks. What's going on? Did you think a lock would stop me? You think the door to that room could hold back the room's new master? It was like the witch could see Roka's frantic effort through the door. Even now, the footsteps continued to approach. When not their footsteps, but even their breath could be heard. Foe gave up on the lock and slammed the door, locking using his lodge body. George, quickly! George, what about this? A letter opener? That's better. Let me have it. The fountain pen's not working. George took it and once again dug into the crack inside the lid of the treasure box. Looks like it's working. Quickly! Ah. The pressure from across the door grew even stronger. Goda screamed. There wasn't a war cry during the chest of strength. He was terrified. He was simply terrified that nothing but a single wooden door was stopping him from touching something not of this world. But he was still lucky. He wasn't touching the things directly. because they were on the other side of the door. So if you were to touch them directly, Gota's cry would surely turn from something brave into some pathetic, piercing scream, and therefore one that was more real. Gota couldn't believe what was happening right before his eyes. Coming through the door, an arm was slipping straight through the wood like it was water, doing the most natural thing in this world, and it rubbed the back of Gota's hand as he frantically tried to show that the door was shut. His arm to his chest and then up to his chin. By now, Gota's scream wasn't even audible anymore. He could hear a sweet whispering voice from across the door. It wasn't coming from the witch, but it sounded like a young woman. However, it didn't change the fact that it came from someone not of this world. So cute. Hey, you see it, right? Your light flashing before your eyes. Let me know when it's over, okay? Oh, thanks. It's over already, isn't it? Uh-oh. That lewd arm burst once they heard the sound of something jumping around the room at an incredible speed. They didn't know what it was. Incredibly fast, small, like a steel or maybe a beetle. It buried itself right in the center of Gota's chest and stopped. They realized for the first time that its true form was something like a stake with a strange design on it. Gota's large body shook, felt backward, and fell over. As it did, the door opened softly, even though no one was pushing it. Welcoming the new master of this room, it looked almost as though the door itself had accepted her. The goat attendants came in, one after another, the 6 of them. And then that witch came in, and the gold butterflies came in. The room was wrapped in a blizzard of gold leaf, which fell and piled up, turning it more and more into a world of gold. Shannon, the roulette has chosen you and George. Thank me for your day of release. Do you have any regrets? You don't, do you? Receiving an engagement ring from the man you fell for and then being killed before spending your first night together? That hardly counts as a regret at all, right? You wanted him to hold you, didn't you? You wanted him to teach you a woman's joy, right? Oh, no. Shannon, you're dribbling. See, your regret is dripping down from your mouth. I can see it dribbling from your mouth. It was the sound of the lid to the treasure box breaking open. When George turned it over, accessories, charms, various objects that Naku treasured when she was a girl fell out. Mixed with that was a pouch that stood out from the rest. He picked it up, was immediately sure. This was it. I found it. This is it. So close and yet so far. Die. Damn it. At once, the gold butterflies attacked George, who was hurriedly trying to remove the contents of the pouch. At that time, a bright... Oh my god! Queen! At that time, a bright red flash seemed to light up the room for an instant. The red flash seemed to cut a hole into the cloud of gold butterflies raging around in the room, drawing a circle with Shannon at the center. The resulting scene looked truly divine, almost as a single streak of light had cut through the clouds in this world of gold. George, who was curled in a ball, trying to protect himself from the group of butterflies, didn't have a clue what was going on. Then he noticed that Shannon was standing guard in front of him, shielding him, as he glared at the witch, and the rest of it with a serious face she'd never shown him before. I'd forgotten. You're another sample of Kinzo's outstanding furniture, and you've matured much more than Cannon. How could you do that to Cannon? I don't mean killing him. How could you erase his remains and even try to disgrace his honor? Oh, now, Shannon, is that why you're mad? If you're lonely because Cannon hasn't been around, just let me know and I'll let you see him whenever you like. When the witch snapped her fingers, one of the 6 goat attendants glittered gold and changed into Cannon. It was definitely a sight to make one doubt their eyes. It was definitely Cannon's face. However, in those eyes, the glint of Cannon's integrity was nowhere to be seen. They were hazy eyes of furniture that only obeyed the orders of the witch. George couldn't understand the scene before his eyes. He finally understood why Gota and the rest had been unable to talk about what they'd seen in the servant room. Are you enjoying this? Yes, I am. It's always fun to reunite a pair that have been torn apart by death. After all, I get to enjoy tearing apart by death and reuniting them and then tearing them apart again. So, Cannon, go play with your sister. If she knocks you about, let her see you suffer with all the anguish you can manage. From the imposter Cannon's arm, a strangely shining curve extended. He planned to tear Shannon apart with that. With a single stroke, he would attack Shannon, who still hadn't prepared her heart, and... I won't forgive you.
I'll never forgive you for dishonoring the dead, not once, but twice. Enough babbling, go get killed by your brother, Shannon. I'm sure you'll bear witness to a wonderful dream. The imposter cannon certainly seemed to lunge at Shannon, drawing several purple curves, but when he flew at her, it was as though some kind of invisible wall had been placed in front of her. The wall repelled the imposter, leaving bright red ripple on the surface. No, it didn't repel him, it smashed him, knocked him back, turning him into golden dust, into little bits, scattering him. That foolish furniture who had taken Cannon's form and even disgraced his honor after death broke into countless gold butterflies, and then those butterflies themselves broke into pieces, and those pieces were broken into pieces until there were no longer butterflies but a golden splash that faded away. Shannon. George, please don't move from that spot. I don't want to shift the central axis. Well, this certainly is a surprise. This chapter, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, what? Certainly is a surprise, though through your face makes it, though as you wouldn't learn to fly, you can display such power. I see, so that spirit mirror is lending you strength. But you don't have the tools or the time to draw its true power. I won't let you have either of those. The spirit mirror George gripped let out a divine glow, displaying a strength parallel not to submit to wicked forces. But that glow was no match for the witch's sinister nature. This is why furniture can be frightening. That feeling that can unexpectedly stubbing your toe on the torn of a cabinet. Yeah, their sword and shield. By furniture, that feeling. My furniture. I'm not furniture. And right now you seem very pitiful to me. What? What did this furniture, who hasn't even lived 100 years, just say to a 1,000-year-old witch? You're a very pitiful person. Of course, two people will fall in love without regrets when they're separated. But they'll feel none of the kind of regret you're hoping for. You dare to speak? Have you forgotten the days where you were so desperate to be tied to George that you licked my shoes? Living with love and crawling through the muck is what humans do. If you sneer and look down on them for that, you're far inferior to them. Especially now, I pity you. How precious it is for a loving couple to when they bring their love to fruition by sleeping together on their first night. It does have meaning, it definitely does, but it's completely different from what you're saying. It means something so sacred that someone such as you has no right to speak of it wickedly. So I no longer have any regrets. George and I have sworn our love to each other. As proof, I have accepted this ring. And if with that our eternal vows were completed. No matter how you torture us with your wicked magic and your malice, you cannot disgrace eternity. You'd speak in cheap ideals like some poet. Love is lust, totally meaningless unless you're sleeping together. Men are mere flies and maggots that get drawn to your female scent and crowd around you. Do you not understand that at your age? You'll despair for the very first time when you witness the dark lust of the glasses man behind you. You'll be crushed, shocked, dumbfounded, stupefied, and it's all useless, Shannon. Yeah, that's enough talk about you, furniture. What the hell do you think you are, talking like that? No matter how beautiful you try to make love sound, at the end it's all fraud because love is filth. Don't people become adults when they realize that? Yeah, you trash, you furniture scrap. I'll turn you into a filthy maggot, then we'll see whether the glasses guy still loves you. I'll show you that that guy's only had his eyes on your flesh. Die, you piece of crap. Don't tell me about love. The invisible column of light with Shannon in the center started to have bright ripples drawn all over it at once. The wall did its best to withstand the unseeable malice that tried to corrode them from all directions. What? You actually think you're resisting? You're insignificant, you're frail, your cheap ideals, your frail pretense for hiding what you don't want to see by covering it with a veil. You still do not understand why your furniture, it's being erased. That's going too fast. That went too fast, I couldn't read it. The golden windstorm that covered the room gradually began to shave the walls of the column that protected Shannon and George. The bright red ripples frantically drew a resisting pattern, but that just turned into a red wall of despair that began to wrap the two of them up. George, I'm sorry. It was too much for me after all. Yeah, thank you. You fought for my sake. That alone makes me happy. Oh, that's nasty flashing. The round wall that had once protected them was assaulted and covered with a curve of bright red ripples as it seemed to scream, and it began to suck the two of them up instead. George, can I ask a favor? Shannon grasped George's hand behind her, so George hugged her shoulders just as strongly. What is it? In the end, please let me hear you say I love you. Yeah. I'll forever. Hi, Apricot! We're going through it. You're not allowed to show affection here, says Beatrice. God, the cut from that to just being like just rain is so good. I think you've watched one episode of some anime adaptation of this. The anime adaptation's really fucking bad. This is a really good visual novel. You should read it. Or I've heard the manga's pretty decent as well. After Genji finished his late meal, he went out to do the nighttime rounds inside the mansion. He'd eaten some reheated soup that Goda had made, along with some random leftovers from the refrigerator. Those were all things that Goda had made himself, and were, of course, delicious. He'd half-heartedly gone to go ask Rosa and the others what they would like to do for dinner, but he'd been yelled at by a voice telling him that the canned food they had would be enough, and the door wasn't even open for him. So ironically, the servant Genji was able to eat a more delicious meal. But why was it that Genji wasn't afraid to do the rounds by himself? Even though all of those crimes had been committed and many people had already been a brutal end? Judging by his appearance, as he carried out his usual tasks without a trace of fear, as though everything was normal, you might think all of the horrible events that day had been no more than a dream or an illusion. Was he talking of his philosophic view, or had he just accepted his fate? Genji must have considered it a virtue at that, when the fate that awaited him was unavoidable. He carried out his duty systematically until the last moment. The depths of his heart was probably remained hidden for all eternity, unless he spoke of them himself. He returned his master key to Rosa, so the places he could reach were extremely limited. All he could do was walk around the hallways, checking to make sure all the windows were closed. That probably made the rounds go a lot faster than usual. The sound of reserve knocked. Aunt Rosa, who had been falling into a doze, jumped and woke up, pointing the barrel of the gun at the door. She yelled, "Who is it?" Napping on the sofa, and that voice also brought me back to reality. Rosa. It's I, Genji. You have some business. Don't worry about opening the door. Tell us from there. Yes, ma'am. In that case, forgive me for speaking in this fashion. I found Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses. What did you say? I see. Very well, let's go and check them. Until I see corpses, I won't believe anyone.
It's okay, Butler. If you stay with me, it'll definitely be okay.
Maybe my face seemed to be darkened with anxiety. Maria grasped my hand with her small hand and spoke softly, trying to give me courage. But yeah, Apricot, this visual novel is so fucking tasty. I'm like eating that shit up. I don't know how into mystery novels or like whodunit stories you're into, but oh my god, it's so good. This is like scratching the Ace Attorney itch for me. I'm really excited to play
investigations when it comes out. But this is, for now, Umineko. Since it was Aunt Rosa's job to ready the gun and stand guard, it fell to me to remove the barricade of sofas. When I finished, I took a backwards glance at Aunt Rosa, who was pointing the barrel of the gun over my shoulder, and opened the door. Genji, where are their corpses? In the courtyard. I shall guide you. Battler, wait. Just in case, let's check the doors and windows of this room. Wait a second. Aunt Rosa called me to a halt to prevent me from going on ahead and began to gently check the locks on each of the windows. Those locks had already been checked once. Felt kind of unpleasant, as though she suspected I might have secretly unlocked them when she wasn't looking. No, maybe Aunt Rosa was right to be cautious. Though it was called a courtyard, it wasn't really a pretty place you could cuck a walk in like the Rose Garden. On the contrary, since it was surrounded by the mansion on all sides, it made you feel a little uncomfortable, as though it was telling you that there would be no escape from this mansion, no matter where you tried to run. On the other hand, that meant even though we could still hear the violent winds, the wind itself was blocked. Genji had out an umbrella, but Rosa ignored him. She was probably hinting that the gun took two hands, and it'd be dangerous if she took the umbrella. We didn't need Genji pointing us for us to notice. Right in the center of the courtyard, we could see where Doctor and Nanjo and Kumasawa lay. Aunt Rosa entered the courtyard without even opening an umbrella. So Genji and I entered the courtyard without opening one. Only Maria opened hers. Maria, is this you know what? It's the 7th and 8th twilights.
I see. Certainly, just as Genji and the others said, there are horrible wounds on their necks. Their cuts are quite sharp, almost as though they were sliced with a katana or something. Those gaping wounds on their necks definitely made me want to avert my eyes, but after seeing that Halloween party in the chapel, even though they looked horrible, they were no longer enough to make me feel sick. More importantly, our gazes fell to their legs, on Dr. Danjo's knee to Kumasawa's ankle. Driven into each of them was something like a knife or a stake with a demonic design. They must have been the same thing as that thing and then pierced Jessica's back. What is this? It's just like what happened to Jessica. Is this supposed to be some kind of occult ceremony, I wonder? I don't know. The last time I saw their bodies, there was nothing like these. Maybe it was done after they were carried out of the servant room. The one stuck into Dr. Nanjo's knees was still standing erect, but the other one had been stuck into Kumasawa's ankle might have been a little shallower. It had come out and fallen over, so by looking at one had fallen over, for the first time I realized it wasn't a knife, but something like a stake. The length was probably about 30 centimeters. It was probably made out of bronze or iron or something of the sort. Even without touching it, I could tell it had some weight to it. It was composed of a grip and a cone-shaped part. It was obviously made to be a piercing weapon. Maybe it was a miniature version of those lances Western knights used on horseback. The spiral-shaped ditches in it also made it look like a small drill. However, the grip on it had an occult design modeled off a demon or something, so instead of a weapon used in a war, it felt like something that would be used in a ceremony to offer up living sacrifices. There's no mistake. They're meant to be sacrifices.
On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill.
Wait a sec. That means they've left out the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Could it be? Of course. Why is Genji alone? If something like this had happened, why aren't George, Goda, and Shannon here? Why was Genji alone? What's going on? Where did George and the other two go? They said they wanted to search for something in Madame Nazi's room, and they left. They've not returned. What did you say? You say they left, but when was that? 2 or 3 hours ago, I believe. No way. Why didn't you tell us something like that? No, why didn't you think that was suspicious? There must be at least one servant on standby at all times. It was my duty to wait for orders until they returned. Was Genji really this much of a robot? This is bad. This is really bad. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa were killed like this, which means that the 3 people have already been killed. We ran towards Aunt Atsuhi's room, with a touch of anxiety and just as much resignation. Before we even saw the inside of Aunt Natsuhi's room, we were forced to resign ourselves to a certain fact. The door was bizarre, scribble, no, filth? Anyway, the room was in an ordinary state, and even without opening the door, we could imagine what we could find inside. The face of the door, how did I say it? Handprints done heavily with the same red paint as the magic circles from before, had banged on the door, scratched at it, dirtied it. It looked as though the aftermath of a kindergartner playing in the mud. I didn't know what it could mean. The bright red paint that had been slathered on was dripping down, and even though no one said it, it made us think of blood. Genji, please open it. Rosa held up her gun high and ordered Genji to open the door. Genji approached it without seeming particularly troubled by the stuff on it and turned the knob, but immediately turned around, shaking his head. It was locked. At that moment, there was only one person in this mansion who could unlock and unlock doors at will, Aunt Rosa. This time Genji asked Aunt Rosa to unlock the door instead of the other way around. After frowning slightly for a second, Aunt Rosa handed me a master key and told me to open the door. Battler, would you open for me with this? And trusting Genji with something like that wouldn't. Aunt Rosa glared at me intensely. Getting into the fight here would only make the mood turn even more sour. Without taking back anymore, I approached that creepy door and tried the knob. It didn't open. It was definitely resistance of the lock. I stuck the master key into the keyhole. Clunk. There was a slight resistance. Aunt Rosa told me to be on my guard, and I opened the door without really guarding myself in any way. Here we go. And then there was a scene laid out before us that didn't betray my expectations at all. Horrible. As I thought, it's a retraction of the 4th, 5th, and 6th Twilights. The inside of the room looks as though if Robert had broken in, drawers had been flung open, pulled out, and had their contents thrown about all over the place, leaving the room so cluttered you'd never believe it belonged to the methodical Aunt Natsuhi. But the very first thing that caught our eyes was Goda-san's corpse lying face down right in front of the door. Right in the center of his chest, almost as though it had been stuck there to finish off a vampire, was one of those demon stakes from before. Exactly how far could it have reached after being stuck that deeply into his chest? Just imagining it would make anyone's chest hurt. Wasn't gouging the chest the 5th Twilight? Maria grabbed my hand. Her expression looked just like normal. But maybe she really was afraid of the aura in the room where the corpses lay. Along the wall farthest from the room, George lay dead. This time one of those staves had been rammed right into the center of his stomach. Wasn't gouging the stomach the 6th Twilight? Shannon's corpse was face down in the front of the dresser, lying in the sea of blood. Had she seen her own face at the end, in that horribly broken mirror stained with blood? Because she was laying in that way, I couldn't see her face, but I could guess with even seeing it. Nearby in a sea of love she lay in, the demon stake had fallen. Only the 4th Twilight was left. Gouge the head and kill. Maybe my heart was totally worn out and dead. Even though I knew it was wrong, I lifted her head and checked, and I confirmed that my guess had been right on the mark. There was a gaping hole in Shannon's head, and the insides were dripping out. Not only that, but you could even see inside her. After seeing that, I realized finally realized I was doing something wrong. I immediately averted my eyes, but by now it was probably pointless. Hey, Battler, you mustn't touch anything until the police come. What do you think you're doing touching it? What will you do if our present evidence and the scene gets disturbed? Aunt Rosa violently got mad at me and tugged at the back of my collar. I tottered limply and fell on my butt, gazing dimly at the ceiling. Maria. With this, even the 8th Twilight is over. What's the 9th Twilight again?
On the 9th Twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive.
I see. After this, the Golden Witch Beatrice will be revived. What then? On the final 10th Twilight?
On the 10th Twilight, a journey ends. You will change the power to the Golden Land's treasure, once and for the last time. Very soon, the door to the Golden Land will be opened. Very soon. The witch shall be revived, and none shall be left alive, huh? We're gonna die now. Or does this mean the ceremony of sacrifice is over, and that now at journey's end we'll reach the Golden Land? What is our journey? We spent the whole day trying to find the culprit, spinning our heads as though we've tried to break out of this situation, and we haven't gotten anywhere. It's as they say, thinking stupid is no better than sleeping. That's right, we spent the whole day burning ourselves up in hatred and paranoia. We were so sure we could only trust the dead, and that we came up all the way here to confirm these 3 deaths with our own eyes. If we're like this, why? Why should we be able to make it to the Golden Land? That's right, if we couldn't resolve any of our problems anyway, it would have been so much better if we'd locked ourselves up that whole time without thinking at all. Grandfather's the wisest of us. He'd been shut up this room since yesterday without any contact with anyone. That was the right decision. Grandfather was the most correct of us all. It's okay, Battler. If you're with me, you'll be okay. The witch is very fickle, and she's a terrifying being who might kill humans partly for fun sometimes. However, if you're with me, you'll be okay. So, don't be afraid.
Thank you. Even if you're just saying it to console me, I'm glad. After Aunt Rosa finished investigating the corpses, she announced she'd seal this room again. chased the rest of us out, stole back the master key she'd lent me, and locked the door again. Apparently George had been holding the key to Aunt Natsuhi's room. She'd also collected that. Wait a sec. She got all the master keys on her person. If Nancy's own key was locked up inside the room, doesn't that make it another closed room? But what is this, a fourth closed room? Now that the suspicion surrounding those three had been cleared, we returned to the parlor once more. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. If only the dead were innocent, and everyone alive is a wolf. That leaves only me, Aunt Rosa, Maria, and Genji. And besides us, there's only Grandfather and that 19th person, the guest we've seen no trace of, Beatrice. 13 people have died, and 6 are left. How would a wolves and sheep puzzle with only 6 people end? Even though a puzzle that has started with 19 has been reduced to 6, I can't think of an answer. We returned to the parlor. I was a bit worried that while they were gone, I could a creepy magic circle or something might have been drawn at the parlor door, but thankfully we didn't find anything like that. Thank you, Genji. This is far enough. Please rest for the day. Certainly. Then please excuse me. Aunt Rosa, are you saying you'll leave Genji all alone in a situation like this? That's right. I think it's quite dangerous. But in that case, why is he safe? After those 3 headed to Natsuhi's room, he was alone the whole time, and yet he's safe. The wolves and sheep puzzle. Why would the sheep be safe if it was all alone, and therefore in its weakest possible position? Probably because by coincidence there weren't any wolves around. Wrong. It's because it wasn't a sheep. Or saying Genji's a wolf. He said he was alone in the kitchen, but that's impossible to prove. The only ones who could have carried Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses, who could have killed George and the rest, were him and Beatrice, right? Wait, with that argument. Anyone. Battler, thank you for your concern. I believe the trust is won is not with 100 excuses, but with simple faithfulness. Even if I am not able to gain your trust, I wish to be faithful until the end. Genji. Then we're decided. If you truly are innocent, the police will prove that for us when they come tomorrow. So until then, we cannot remove you from suspicion. After your long years of service, I find it truly painful to treat you so poorly. But please understand about tonight. And when tomorrow comes, please let us make up again. Genji-san gave his head a small shake. Today and tomorrow, I will continue to be a servant of the Ushimiya family. If you need anything, please say so at any time. Then, well, if you excuse me. After hearing all that, there was nothing left to say. Genji bowed deeply and left the hall. I feel so bad for Genji. When we entered the room, even though Aunt Rosa still held all the master keys herself, she thoroughly checked the inside of the parlor again. Whew. She opened the curtains and checked again to make sure the windows were locked. As I watched, how should I say it, I felt like it didn't really matter anymore. If I said anything careless, it would turn into another fight. For a while I gazed at her from the corridor. I figured I'd waited just long enough and entered the parlor behind her. If she doesn't trust anyone but the dead, why doesn't she go around killing everyone with the gun she's got in her hand? And then at the end, she'll realize she herself is the wolf. And then she can just blast through the head of the final wolf and close the curtain on this insane murder drama. I've been saying it's been Natsuhi. I've been saying it's Natsuhi. As I thought bitterly, I returned to the sofa where I'd encamped before, rudely resting on both of my feet on the table. When I tried to do that, I found something there and stopped moving my feet. What is this? Right there, almost as though it had been addressed to me, was a Western envelope. It was that envelope from before with the seal of the one-winged dingle, and it was unopened. Wait. What is this? Who put it in a place like this and when? Until I went with everyone to check the corpses, I was sitting there the whole time, and there wasn't anything there then. And I returned, it was here. It's okay. Everything's still locked up securely. This room is safe. I heard Rosa muttering that. Wait. We made sure this room was safe when we left it. We checked the windows were all perfectly locked, and we locked it up, came back, and the windows were still locked. Then wait, who put this letter here and how? I opened the letter. 2 pieces of stationery came out. The first page had a magic circle drawn on it with something like blood. If I asked Maria, she'd probably know what it meant. And there was writing on the other page. Have you made progress in solving the epitaph? In just a short while, your time will be up in a flash. The ninth twilight will begin quite soon. There's no mistake. It was a letter from Beatrice.
Battler, what is that?
When I came here just now, it was sitting right here. What happened, Maria? Battler, that letter? Wait, it was sitting right here. Why? Even though we checked to make sure this room was locked. Why? Why? Maria, come here. Aunt Rosa closed her eyes just a little, and after thinking silently for a moment, told Mary to come. Maria obeyed her mother's words. As she did, something unbelievable happened. Aunt Rosa pointed the barrel of the gun at me. Battler, I've concluded that you are a wolf. What? Why? Oh my god. It's totally Rosa. It's totally her. She's totally killed everyone. Except her fucking daughter. And the, servants she actually liked. And she can't get at grandfather. So... When I came into the room just now, I saw that there was nothing at all on the table. And I know that Maria did not approach that table. We're talking about a short stretch of time. But the only one who claims to have approached the table and found the letter is you. How can you? Wait, that's all screwed up. Why would I put something like this here? Wait, I just found something suspicious and report it. Why are you suspecting me? Because only you could have set that letter there. That's right, this is all a charade. You pulled an envelope from your pocket and acted as though you just found it. To create the illusion that which entered a closed room, you set down a letter and left. Dumbass, are you thinking like that again? Are you gonna suspect me because of something like that? Cut it out. My dad and everyone else were killed. Why would I take part in the culprit's scheme? True. Even if you were offered a large sum of money, I don't want to believe in the existence of the sort of demon who would sell out their own parents. Then again, maybe such a demon does exist. No, that's a bad way to say it. What if you didn't view Rudolph and Kyrie as your parents? What? Think about what you're saying. Dad is dad, right? Of course I'm not related to Kyrie by blood, but she's like a big sister to me. No way in hell I'll let a comment like that slide, you bastard. Stop it. Stop saying I'm sorry, that was a bad way to put it. True, Shirmia Battler made by Rudolph's child. But are you really that Battler? What the hell are you talking about? If I'm not Battler, who else do I look like? All of us, including Rudolph, seeing you for the first time in 6 years. No one can prove that you really are a Shirmia Battler, right? Maybe you aren't Battler, but someone who snuck in, making a skillful bid to steal the wealth of the Shirmia family. Can you clearly prove that you're a Shirmia Battler? She's delusional. Cut it out, damn it. I'm me, Shirmia Battler. If you're gonna suspect things like that, are you really a Shirmia Rosa? I'm myself and no one else. That's right. That's just as you say, you can't trust anyone but the corpses and yourself. If you're gonna go that far, maybe make an injection. George and the others were found dead, and Natsuki's room was locked. George and he had the key to that room, right? And by now the only one with a master key is you, Aunt Rosa. Aren't you the only one that could have unlocked that room? My theory goes like this. You're in contact with a real culprit, and while I wasn't looking, you lent them one of the 5 master keys. I didn't do something like that. See, there are 5 of them here, right? As if that matters, you could have had them set a pre-range shot and collected it, right? Aren't you the one that doubted whether there were really 5 master keys? So how do you suggest that someone other than yourself placed that letter there? Until you find proof someone else did it, you're a wolf. Shut up. Then why don't you show me some proof? How do you claim the culprit killed George and the rest in that closed room? How did they lock it? That's exactly right. Natsuki's room was exactly the same, just like usual. The door and windows were locked from the inside. There were no frauds or tricks, no means of secret magic, nor places of which to hide. Natsuki's own key was in George's pockets, and the inside of the room was sealed off. Only the 5 master keys were left, and Rosa was holding all of them. And let me say this, the parlor's the same. The key to the parlor itself is sealed away in the servant room, so unlocking it without a master key is impossible. The official closed room remains the same as always. Come on now, there's only one suspect. Or are you still playing an innocent Shirmia Battler? Shut up. You shut up too. You're the one who should shut up. How do you know that? How could you claim the letter was placed here by anyone other than you? Unless you could prove such a thing happened, you're a wolf. If we can suspect me, then we can suspect you too. So try showing me some proof yourself. And anyway, weren't you the first person to enter this room and start checking the windows, Aunt Rosa? Then you guessed that I'd go back to where I'd been sitting and secretly put that letter there. It's possible for us to suspect that this is a trap of yours, right? Why would I use a trap like that? If I was a wolf, I'd shoot you with this gun without question. That proves nothing. Maybe you chose the roundabout way of setting a clever trap because you couldn't commit to murder in front of Maria. All the master keys are in your hands, so what happened both here and the last room was all you're doing, right? You think you can talk your way out of this? Then let's hear your excuses. That's right, you've been suspicious from the start, Aunt Rosa. Why is it that even though 6 adults are in the family confidence and were killed, you were the only exception? Why were you the only one not in that chapel? There can only be one reason. You invited Dad and the rest there and killed them. Damn it. Explains everything, doesn't it? Don't fuck with me. Not saying things that don't make sense. That's what I've been saying since the beginning. Only Rosa knew about the fucking envelope that, Maria had.
Stop it! You mustn't fight. Look at the 2 butlers, stop it. It's no one's fault. It's about Battler's or Mama's fault. The witch did all of this. It was done with magic. It's no one's fault.
Maria thrust herself between Rosa and me as the blood started rising to our heads. I was taken aback by Maria's crying voice and returned to my senses. I'd asked this shamefully just now. My eyes filled with tears. That's right. It's all the witch's fault, isn't it? All this cheat about keys and tricks and alibis, all of it was stupid, even though it's the work of the witch. We aren't even trapped with each other as humans. Right, Aunt Rosa? From the beginning, there wasn't a human culprit. It was all the work of the witch. There's no way you're the culprit. There's no way Maria, Genji, or I am either. Why has it come to this? Why am I screaming at Rosa, who I loved? Why am I having this fight with the kind aunt who I love so much? Why does everyone have to suspect each other? I'm not going to suspect my aunt. I'm not going to suspect anyone. It's all the work of the witch. It's all the work of Beatrice. It's all the crime that Beatrice committed with magic. Beatrice, please show yourself here and confess that you did everything. I'm sorry already. I'm sorry we've been suspecting each other like this. So forgive us. Release us. Release us from this hell of suspecting each other until you see each other die. Give me my kind relatives and cousins back. I hate it. I hate it all. You definitely exist and it's your fault. So show yourself, Beatrice. Uh-oh. Is she gonna show herself? Or is she gonna be silent? Will she be quiet? Am I still alive? Apparently, some time ago, Kenzo had fallen into a doze. He'd searched for his spectacles and looked at the clock. It was 10 p.m. That person's ceremony. Let's see how far it's progressed. Must have come quite far by this time. Kenzo lifted his heavy body from the chair and approached the portrait of the witch he had gazed at every day.
Oh, Atlas Eris, welcome aboard. Welcome to Gehenna Express. I'm hoping you're having a lovely night. Welcome in.
Beatrice, very soon I will have a chance to be reunited with your smile. I care not if I die. If I can just see your smile one more time, I will not regret this life. So, for heaven's sake, let me meet with you one more time. Then let me swear my love to you and apologize for my crimes. But I won't let you escape. You are mine. From your hair to your toenails, the dirt under your toenails, you are mine. Every fragment of your flesh is mine, and even the broth of your corpse is mine. I won't let you escape, and this time you won't slip from my hands. I'll make you mine for all eternity. I'll never let you escape a second time. I'll never let you escape a second time. Yeah, he's kind of lost it. Grandpa's lost it. Kenzo howled in a rage and suddenly fell to his knees as he shook and scraped at the wall. In an instant, he'd started sobbing. That's wrong. I didn't want to say something like this. Beatrice, please let me see you one more time.
Hi, Twitch Rector Channels. I'm so excited to see you playing Umineko. It's one of my favorite games. I'm having so much fun. I'm like, this game is gonna change something deeply about my mental state. But thank you for stopping by. It's good to have you in. Welcome in.
Even if you only let me apologize, Beatrice. Your beloved yearned for. I was mistaken. If you would just smile, I wouldn't need anything else. I made a mistake. I made a mistake back then. I did something that cannot be taken back. Atonement, I offered all that remains of my life. In order to apologize to you, in order to atone for my crimes, I offered everything. Please, even if it must happen as I die, at least let me apologize. Just once. Beatrice. Kenzo shook and cried. A butterfly appeared out of nowhere behind his small back like a flake of gold leaf and softly descended. You fool, Kenzo. Do you think any woman out there would fall for a man's tears? Well, even if it wouldn't make a human woman fall for you, it might do the trick for a woman who's not human. Kenzo, do you remember that game of chess you played with me? Which is still ongoing. Kenzo, as though he'd suddenly remembered something, approached the chess set. It was as it been him during the game he'd played with Nanjo until yesterday. After knocking all the pieces off the chessboard, he began to line them up, one by one. It was a setup for an ongoing game. That's right, like this. I advanced my queen. It was quite a spectacular move. Perhaps it was a little too intense for you. I worried whether you'd abandoned your piece or not. I worried for so long. Kenzo waited with the opposite seat empty. Surely very soon his opponent would appear here, and would be able to restart his game again. You fool, Kenzo. You want to apologize? You want to see my face again? You want to make my smile an eternal thing? Why can't you say a much, much simpler word? Even though that's the sole element of this world. At that time, Kenzo muttered. Was it a prayer? An entreaty? It was probably best to call it muttering. I love you, Beatrice. They were pure words, like something of an innocent child would say without any evil intents. You really are a fool, Kenzo. If you ever have the chance to do your life over again, know that those words would never cause a woman to fall for you. That's right, not unless a miracle happens. That's what makes this. At that moment, Kenzo definitely heard a small knock, one with a tempo that differed from those of the servants. Who was it? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. I'm asking who you are. Will you not answer? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. Could it be? Could it be? Beatrice? Beatrice, Beatrice. He's gone nuts. The woman behind the door answered. On the night's twilight, the witch shall revive, and none will be left alive. Ooh. Oh man. Butler's figure was in the dining hall. He didn't feel like going back to the guest house in the middle of all this rain. We're really in it now. Beatrice, we're really in it now. And wandered half-heartedly around the mansion in search of any place where he could sit before setting up camp in the dining hall. He didn't even lock the door. He thought that a shapeless murderer, or maybe the Golden Witch, might come to kill him now that he was isolated. But he no longer had any desire to resist. He didn't even feel like using a locked door to hold off the culprit. He wanted the person to come at him openly from the front. If it was that killer, he wanted to ask them about some of those wonderful closed room tricks as a parting gift. If it was the witch, he'd hoped that she'd at least take his life with some spectacular magic. However, ironically, neither of these two came to meet him. Battler opened the liquor cabinet of his own and enjoyed liquor to heart's content. Aren't you underage? No longer was there anyone to scold him for drinking alcohol, except me. Boldly rested his leg on the extravagant tablecloth and savored the high-quality liqueur, which had probably had a mind-boggling price, and drinking it down straight from the bottle. Then someone knocked. Butler realized someone had come to greet him. It's not locked. Whoever you are, please come in. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. If you're human, please give me your name. If you're Beatrice, please tell me your bust size. I may not look it, but I'm... Butler! Now's not the time! I may not look it, but I'm well known as a breast sommelier, you see. This guy... This is really funny, actually. The fucking audacity. It's Genji, Battler. Genji, huh? Sorry, but I've got no interest in your bust size. Please come in. It's unlocked. Excuse me. Genji opened the door and bowed. So is Genji the criminal after all, or maybe an accomplice? The theory would probably explain most of the tricks. Did you come to give me my last rites? Nothing of the sort. I apologize if I'm disturbing you. Hey, Sam was sorry without even telling me that you want. It's actually pretty creepy. What do you want? Are you gonna tell me that drinking alcohol is forbidden for minors? I'll just die anyway. Please, let me do what I want now that it's all about to end. Battler, do you love alcohol so much that you would spend the little time you have left drinking? Those words pierced me. It wasn't true. I just can't cope if I don't drink. I can't even taste the alcohol at all. You're just like the master. Indeed, you inherited the master's blood strongly. You mean grandfather, the heavy drinker, was drinking to drown his sorrows the whole time? First I've heard of it. After several sad incidents, the master's life was reduced to one of atonement alone. What is it you know? Beatrice's ceremony was completed when the 8th twilight ended. I believe I can tell you everything now. What did you say? My drunkenness was completely blown away. I lowered my feet from the table and listened carefully to hear what Genji would say next. Battler, I shall guide you to the master's study. It would be probably best to hear it directly from the both master and from both grandfather and... Hey, what in the world do you mean by that? Come this way. I shall guide you, Battler. After Genji told me to follow him, he started to walk down the corridor. I threw my drunkenness off completely and went after him. We climbed a big staircase towards the 3rd floor. Genji stopped walking halfway. Turned back and spoke. Battler, from here on, you'll be able to see things you'll not be able to understand. Don't think that'll scare me. I've already seen enough incomprehensible things today to make me sick. Please accept what you see as you see it, and accept what you hear as you hear it. Why? What? There's no need for questions like that. You'll learn the truth, and that's all. I'll leave it completely up to you, Battler. Whether you accept it, believe it, or deny it. Genji checked one last time to see if I was prepared to know the truth. The 8th twilight had already ended. In the 9th twilight, the witch would revive, and no one would be left alive. That meant Beatrice had already been revived. It also meant that none of us would be allowed to return alive. If I was going to leave my life anyway, I wanted to know the truth in the end. It didn't matter how hard it might be to accept. Yeah. Even if a demon or a witch shows up, I'm prepared. Indeed, you're just like the master in his youth. Battler, please be diligent in your studies. In the future, you'll surely have great aspirations, and when that time comes, see to it you're never forced to regret a lack of study and training. I'd be happy to, assuming I ever get the chance to work hard in my studies. Genji's silence felt like his further to a certain resigned feeling I had. And then the door to grandfather's study, surrounded by a sweet smell, came into sight. Genji took the gold key with an elegant design out from his pocket. The master keys had been confiscated by Aunt Rosa, but he kept the key to this study alone on his person. He put it in the keyhole and made a heavy clunking sound. Master, it's I, Genji. I brought Battler with me. There was no reply, but it seemed that permission to go inside had been given. Come, Battler, please go in. Okay, I'll go in. He readied himself and threw the door open. She's gonna be there, isn't she? Oh, madam. At that moment, I got slightly disoriented by the dazzling golden glow. It was unbelievably a swarm of butterflies that shone gold. The gold butterflies that had completely filled the inside of the study soared out all at once. What is this? It's almost like golden leaf confetti. The interior of Grandfather's study was filled with a golden glow. And on a sofa-like reception chair in front of the study desk, I could see Grandfather's back. There was someone on the side opposite from Grandfather. It was in shadow, so I couldn't see it well. Master, I brought Battler. Battler, is it? I'm busy thinking now. Be silent for a while. Kinzo declared that unhappily, his back still turned. It seemed he was enjoying chess game with a visitor. Apparently, the opponent had counterattacked with a superb move. Kinzo seemed to be enjoying himself as he thought deeply, while occasionally laughing and groaning. I've thought for 30 years. I've thought for 30 years about how to counter this move. Have fun with the move I've fermented for 30 years. Indeed, this is a deeply matured move. What fun, what fun. I see I'm no match for you. What is this? So you came, Battler. I've been waiting for a while. Be silent for Kinzo's sake. Isn't it too early to resign, Kinzo? I could have countered that move in several ways already. It should have been my first meeting with that witch. However, I knew this witch. If Even though it was our first meeting, I knew her from the portrait. Genji, serve some alcohol for Battler. What would be an appropriate liquor for this man? That which the master has loved since the days of his youth. Good, good, serve it. You did well coming here, Shiramiya Battler. First, sit down. You called my name many times, did you not? In deference to that, I allowed you to meet me. So, what will you ask me? What will you inquire? The door to the Golden Land will soon be opened, and we'll have a banquet to celebrate my revival, at which I'll be welcoming in the witches. In the meantime, answer your questions, as many as you like. I've got a bunch of things I want to ask. What happened on this island, and why did incidents like this occur? I want to ask about the closed rooms, too. What about the chapel? What was Jessica's room? And the servant room? And Aunt Natsuki's room? And the parlor? There's so much more I want to ask. About the witch's true nature. Is Beatrice really a witch? What's your goal? What do you want to make us do? And why did you call me here? Answer me about everything. Be quiet. You think you'll get answers if you ask? Don't say that, Kinzo. A fragile and fleeting spider did offer protection from King Herod once. Just like there are no useless things in this world, there are no useless questions. Very well, I'll answer all your questions, but only on one condition. What is it? If you hear everything and are able to accept my existence, then you'll kneel and kiss my shoes. I called you here because I wanted to make you surrender to me. Kinzo and I made a bet. We bet on which you would come first, Kinzo thinking of a new move or making you surrender. I don't think I'll lose. This woman is she's so peak. She's just she's like the girl boss of all time. Damn, you talking so tough. Yeah, alright. Try and convince me. Try and convince me that you're a witch that can use weird, awesome, powerful magic. If I surrender, I'll kiss you or do whatever else. The witch cackled gloatingly. Then she glared at him unpleasantly with eyes that said a man can't go back on his word. Well said. So from what question shall I begin? I'll answer everything. Come, what will the first one be? Uh-oh, sisters. Oh! Wait. What? Did we finish chapter 2? Then the witch started to tell everything. Because this is the same. I feel like there is like afterwards, but like every chapter has like an afterword. So she began answering all of Battler's questions and everything made sense. He was convinced by all of it, and then Battler had no choice but to admit it. The witch certainly did exist. Whew, boy. What follows is a story that needs no retelling. When a king falls, you are defeated. The time to start reflecting on your finished game. And then all you can do is set up the pieces one more time. This is so slow comparatively to how I usually read. Finish, then tea party, then I think yeah, that's what I assumed. Second game, Turn of the Golden Witch result. The results, you guys. Let's hope for the next chapter that the MILFs will live. Yeah, I feel like there has to be a good end for older women. Streamer Cross died in the first Twilight. We already know all of this. Because Ava and... The thing is there are many people that can qualify for the second sacrifice. And Ava and, Eva and Hideyoshi survived in the first chapter, but then got killed in the second Twilight. But there's 2 more people that fit the needs of the second Twilight. So if say Jessica and Cannon died again, or Shannon and George died again, they would live, potentially. I feel like there's many ways to interpret the Twilights, so I feel like we're gonna get more and more variations. Chapter 2 is focused on those 2. Eva and Hideyoshi? Chapter 2? Or are you talking about chapter 3? Oh, talking about Shannon and the other guy? If 2? Oh, yeah, Shannon and George were this... It was all about Shannon and George, and then Rosa and Maria, this chapter. Or the 2 ones they were focusing on. The first chapter kind of focused a little bit on everyone, because it was all exposition and leading up to the later chapters. And mainly focused on Battler as well, because he's our protagonist. Will he acknowledge the witch's existence and be invited to the Golden Land? Oh, she was denied. Wait, she was denied entrance to the Golden Land because she didn't believe in the witch. What a waste of a live person. They could have not killed someone else. I think that we should kill, I think that we should kill Rosa. We have to get rid of her. I'm sick of her now. Oh, Maria. Oh, Maria. Is Maria next? Do you know? Wait, are you guessing or are you saying that Maria's chapter is next? Because I feel like there's gonna be like more... I feel like we might go back to Natsuhi and Ava. I feel like if there's a world where Hideyoshi and Rudolph both die, and then Ava and Natsuhi are alive, I feel like that would be the biggest drama of all time. And also it would be very entertaining to read. Guessing there's an ep for them, but probably later? Oh. We finished chapter 2! We're halfway done! We're almost halfway done with the first chapter, with the first part of the story. Yippee! I'm so excited. Hi, Serge! Welcome in! It's only taken us, what, several months? Oh, where are you, Beatrice? Show yourself. Beatrice. Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name, but there was no way she would receive an answer. Her grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her sibling's corpse was still exposed and stretched out her arm towards a gold ingot. It was very heavy, but Rosa didn't mind. She wrapped that one up in a blanket and threw it over her shoulder. At least just this one. This alone should be worth over 10 million. Without letting go of her gun, Rosa picked up the gold as well. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't mind. It'll happen very soon. Very soon the golden land will open. Stop laughing with that creepy voice. Where is Beatrice? I know she's around here somewhere, right? You know where. Where is she? I don't know. Even if you don't search for her, you'll be able to see her in the golden land. Ouch. Stop laughing like that. Oh, it almost makes me want to laugh. That's right, it was definitely a witch. Definitely a witch. I didn't understand. I thought she was a human calling herself a witch, but I was wrong. It really was a witch. I won't be fooled by something like that. You're there, right? Come out, show yourself, Beatrice. I told you she'll appear very soon. The door to the Golden Land will be opened. So this is kind of like going over like what happened to them after they left. That's right. Isn't that splendid? I care not abandon that rook. You, woman, are a king that cannot be reached without the resolve to lose everything one has. I'll corner you, Beatrice. At least call me a queen. What a beautiful move. So your blood, no, the Ashirimia blood is bad at giving up. How pleasant. What a truly elegant night. Master Beatrice, it will soon be time for the banquet. Already? That was fast. Every night I pass with you goes by swiftly. The moon falls like an apple, and the sun leaps out of the river like a small fish. It's time, so let us go. Rise, Battler. The banquet to celebrate my revival will now begin. I'll introduce you as my new furniture, no, as my toy, to the dignitaries among witches. The witch was relaxing elegantly, and her feet thrown out from the sofa and resting across on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't a part of a sofa, but a human.
Wolf and Fox gifted a tier 1 sub to AgniX_VT.
Wolfen, thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the gift sub to Agni and Ladney and Baku.
Wolf and Fox gifted a tier 1 sub to Lodney Void.
And Tai and Wolf and Sete and Ari and Walkupe and Katra and
Wolf
Lunar
and
and
tier 1 sub to
Azura.
Ari
Welcome
Phantom.
aboard. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for the Thank you for the
Wolf
gift
and Fox
subs.
gifted a
What?
tier 1 sub to the Queen.
Out of nowhere. Hi, Wolfen. I hope you're having a lovely night.
Wolf and Fox gifted a tier 1 sub to Sete_Magera.
We'll wait for the things to start before we start reading again.
Wolf and Fox gifted
I
a
was
tier
literally
1
thinking
sub
about
to
wrapping up soon too, so this is perfect. We'll go through the other extra stuff after this chapter fully ends, and then probably wrap up for today because. Ooh, chapter 2. Beatrice.
Wolf and Fox gifted a tier 1
Beatrice!
sub to Warcoop 100.
I love women. I love women so much.
Wolf and Fox
I love
gifted
mean
a tier
women.
1 sub to Lazy
My
Luna
beloved.
Bear. Wolf and
Hype
Fox
train.
gifted a tier 1 sub
What
to
the?
Azure
That started a
Mags.
hype train? What the heck? New OBS looks weird. Did you update your OBS?
Taurus wasn't a part of Sopa, but a human down on all fours. Beatrice, your silk dress. You are the guest of honor, but I am the host. But I will go up first. It would have been nice if Shannon were here to help dress you, but unfortunately it seems she no longer remains. She's never around when I want to use her. An entirely useless person. However, you did well to remain here. I'm happy, my friend. I'm grateful for your words. Good. Wait downstairs, you two. Genji, good work. Set the dress down over there. Certainly. Well then, Master. We'll go first. Beatrice, I'll see you later. Indeed. Kinzo and Genji left the study. After that, the witch in the dress and the furniture remained. Do you know why I'm not embarrassed to show myself to you naked? Because you're furniture. Furniture, understand? Furniture, you're just furniture. Who would feel shame exposing their body to furniture? So there's no reason for me to feel shame in front of you. The witch rose and her jacket slipped off just from her shoulders. After that, the jacket fell to the ground with a thump. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up those clothes, the witch gave it a small kick and fell over. The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it might have shown. You as furniture plan to force me to unbutton myself. Stand. Undo all the buttons, one by one with care. Quickly. Gracefully. With no mistakes. Guests are being kept waiting, so change my clothes quickly. Yeah. Undo them with care. Those buttons are each worth more than one of your eyeballs. If you make a mistake and break them, you'll sew your eyeballs in instead. Oh no, Battler! The entrance hall was bustling with a crowd of shadowy people. It sparkled gold with gold butterflies flying about. The gentlemen in suits and the tuxedos and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance, it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball. They only had one thing in common, and that thing was insanely bizarre, because all of them had goat heads. Was a goat mask masquerade, or did they really have ghost heads? It probably could have been the latter, but in this bizarre world, I really didn't know what was true. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles greeting them. Kinzo's greetings were more respectful than would have been expected, as though those were all honored guests. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice calling for silence. That voice stopped the idle chatter, and everyone turned to face Genji. Tonight we celebrate the appearance of our golden witch, who has achieved her revival, and Lady Beatrice. Everyone, please welcome her with your applause. When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread through the guests and became a roaring ovation. Then the Golden Witch appeared from atop the large staircase. As she gracefully waved her hand, followed by a piece of furniture as fond of, she surely descended the staircase. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language, and those were those who were deeply intimate, embraced, filled with joy of their reunion. The witch offered greetings of reunion. The witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. Her other end was gripped in the witch's hand like it was a trained dog. It wasn't there to restrain him. Those chains were a restraining device, so only its purpose was to wound the furniture's dignity. He wasn't permitted to wear anything else on his body. Of the young women showed with goats mixed in. One of the young woman goats mixed in with goat nobles quietly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, as she spoke with eyes that had no light with them. That face seemed to belong to a long-haired young girl. Hello, Byrne! How pitiful. Oh, Lady Burncastle, welcome. Do you like my furniture? It's a nice hobby. After saying only that, the witch called Burncastle once again to put on her goat mask, and was swallowed up by the shadows of all the other tall goats. Sore loser. She's ticked off, isn't she? You're not wrong. The young woman goats giggled, and the witch once again let a high-pitched laugh. Thank you for gathering here for my sake. Why don't you enjoy this fullest banquet of the witch, where old friends have gathered from the past, present, east, and west. Come, we will eat all night, drink all night, slurp all night, and chew to bits at night as we enjoy ourselves. Look at the clock as it marks when the evening hour and the beginning melt together. Come, let us begin the banquet of the witch. When the witch announced the beginning of the banquet, a large clock pointed 2400, and the sound of a bell began to ring out. Come, now is the time. Open the golden door. Oh boy. All at once, the butterflies, leafed in gold, flew all around inside the room. Amidst the golden storm and the brilliant golden-colored light, the barrier between this world and another was cut open. Surrounded by the goat's delighted voices, the mansion, the human world, and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and the members of the household who praised the resurrection of the Golden Witch scattered into gold butterflies and poured out the depths of hell. It was a golden tornado, a rondo of golden demons. Come tonight, we'll put aside rank, throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head into the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade. Ah, Beatrice, take me to the Golden Land now, to the Golden Land. The goat nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the signature of some famous moonly star. There were only two differences. First, these were witches, not kids. And second was the witches demanded was not a signature. The sea of goat nobles began to drown Kinzo. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed through the area. It was a grand mixture of laughter in his death throes, and Kinzo became a wine and meat and bread. As if an aroma had slurped, a rich taste of gnawed and pleasant to tear to bits. The sound of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and if adorned with melted chocolate at gold and argent, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones home, you could use them in a soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. They could also become splendid tools for fortune-telling that have always brought misfortune. The entire scene was watched by the furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. It was the quaking of its socially paralyzed heart, proof that it could still feel fear. And that time its knees buckled and the furniture's body fell down in the middle of the carpet. After all, the witch should keys those knees from behind. Kneel and show your respect. Rub your forehead across the carpet and show how vulgar you are. Put your hands behind your back and swear that you'll offer all your flesh and blood to me. The furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most base emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving his sense of self, which had already been slain? So you're still far from suitable for my furniture. Very well, I'll carefully finish you, making you into the kind of furniture I like. The kind fitting only for me. As you are now, I doubt you can offer more than entertainment for our guest. The goat nobles were surrounding the crouching furniture. It seemed their blazing blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy of this new young food they'd been given. And from the ugly teeth that stuck out of the countless mouths, saliva, and maybe the traces of meat and wine they'd eaten, dribbled down. As the furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside. But the circle of goat nobles was closing in. Then the furniture looked at the witch's face. It surrendered to the witch, so believing that the witch would show some compassion, it stared at her and Thace in the end. But there was nothing but the scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing the furniture anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she'd crossed gazes. The goat nobles looked upon the furniture. Actually, they'd been waiting. Just like how one must remove a cork in order to drink champagne, they had to wait for one thing before partaking the offering served at the banquet. Of course, the furniture didn't know about this thing, and it came out of his mouth all by itself, just like the unavoidable quap of a cork inevitably came out of his mouth. It was a scream, a sign that marked the beginning of the modest banquet in which he was to be served. Ooh. Hi, Raiders! Wolf Raid! Hi! We've just gone through it! Hello! You picked one hell of a time to join us! Hello, Raiders! Welcome in, welcome in. I'm hoping you're having a lovely night. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid, Lyra. Welcome in, welcome aboard. We are playing a bit of Umineko today. We are pretty deep into chapter 2, so if you don't want spoilers and you're interested in reading it, maybe you could, maybe. But, Thank you guys, welcome in. I'm Sierra, your local ghost train conductor over on the Canada Express, your #1 afterlife travel service. It's good to have you guys in. We are playing Umineko! We're playing Umineko. It's really good. It's really good. We just, You saw Teeth? Yeah. That was just someone getting ripped to shreds by demons. It's really bad. If you are very sensitive to gore and very graphic descriptions of it, I would warn for that, for sure. I am definitely warning for this just before I start. It is very, very visceral. There's lots of noises and there's lots of sound, and it's very gross to listen to. But thank you once again, Lyra, for the raid. It's good to have you in. But yeah, let's get back to our reading now. This music is so good. Yeah, I should find this track. I should find this track and add it to my playlist. There's a couple of tracks that I'm like, ooh, this is so good. By now, the garden was one of both roses and gold. And a golden-colored garden, while gold butterflies, gold fairies, and gold lizard rampaged and flew about wildly. Maria, quickly, run! Quickly, quickly! Rosa grasped her gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot. Lurk, MEP, but you're interested in watching? Please, Lyra, join my book club. It's so good. It's so good. Rosa grasped the gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot and ran at a speed Maria couldn't match, sometimes pausing to call out to Maria to run faster. She shot every time. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. The massive gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand, and the strange-looking shadows with ghost heads were chasing after them. There was no need for her to strain her eyes, because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured. Wait, Mama, wait! Ow! Maria fell down. For just an instant, Rosa was ashamed by thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away. And at the instant her feet touched the ground, she ran back. The goat-head had sprinted over to get the first bite, grabbed hold of the back of Rosa's own child's hair and pulled. Mama! Rosa rammed the goat with her shoulder, spun and bashed the back of her older in the goat's jaw, and buried her knee with it into its protruding chest. She threaded the barrel of the gun inside the ghost head's mouth and doubled over from pain in its gut. Just tried laying one finger on Maria in front of me. I'll show you just how lukewarm the hell you came from is. The blast from the Winchester .45 caliber long Colt bullet exploded inside the goat's head throat, and its medulla oblongata was instantly pulverized. The goat hadn't understood. It thought that women were pre-opened wine bottles. It thought that turning them upside down would immediately make their deep red contents come out. Mama! Mama! Maria, who had been released, hugged Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads that had given up on pretending to be human, running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets which had been in her pocket of her coat all over the place and told Maria to pick them up. Yeah, pick up. Maria, if Mama falls down, run. Go to the shore. Swim, and swim, and swim. There's nowhere for us to survive on this island. No, I'll stay with Mama. Rosa's gun roared 4 times, but even the 4 shots really did hit the massive approaching goats in the chest. They didn't even flinch. The goats ran with violent vigor, as though they were planned to crush Maria and Rosa with their massive bodies. Put the bullet in, quickly. Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands, and she herself sprinted, pulling it along. Without even an answer to fear with those strange-looking giants. As if to protect my daughter, I'll even come in, even hell. I'll show you this golden dream. Rosa roared. The goat heads roared. The terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a fearsome centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the head of the goat head. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked. She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger, so it stood out when she made a fist, almost like a stinger was growing out of it. The stinger sliced into the left eye of the ghost head as it fell over. Was the goat head's roar a scream? Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was sticking into the goat head's eye. The pointed tip was gouged into the depths of its head. Mama, the bullet went in. Good job. When Rosa grabbed the gun Maria had thrown, the giant finally tumbled down to the ground with a thunderous crash. However, at the same time, I saw the goat-head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I'd gained enough distance for now. I held onto the blanket wrapped around the ingot and the gun and once again ran. Why am I running with a gun in my right hand and the gold in my left? Why don't I let go with one hand and Maria's hand? I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. Even so, I've let go of the hand of my daughter, who is my future. Run, run, run. She got out of the rose garden and began to run down the staircase through a grove of trees. But Rosa knew this path through the grove turned and twisted many times and only seemed to be long. She tore straight through it. She'd played her so often since her childhood years, so she knew. To the beach, to the beach, to the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim, and swim. And if Maria can't swim, I'll carry her as I swim. There's nothing but death on this island. Mama? As she raced down the stairs, she took a dead step. Violent pain ran up her left ankle and her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs, shocked by her ankle, which was bent at an odd angle. The blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She let go of it the instant she fell and it had disappeared somewhere into the darkness. Only the gun was left. Tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goats had flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be, how strange they would look. The lightly dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterflies surrounded Rosa and Maria, waving and clamoring as though, "The prize is here, the prize is here!" Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. What am I doing? I had the gold, which would have been worth 1,000 million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it, and my own life is in danger? And Maria's too? What has my life been? I was born into an incomprehensible family, with irritating older siblings since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been? Mama! Mama! A roar inside Rosa's heart shivered away and disappeared. She disappeared when she heard Maria's crying voice and sobbed and clung to Rosa. Maria, Mama remembered something she's got to do. Please go on ahead. No, no, no. I want to stay with Mama. I don't want Mama to die. Maria, even though I'm such a bad Mama, will you still want to stay with me? I want to stay with you. I want to stay with Mama. I made it look like I was putting you first, but I was always putting you off. I went to your athletic meet, went to Parents' Day, but I was thinking about how I appeared in the world, and you were never in my eyes. Are you saying that you still want to stay with that kind of mother? Even though I've been such a bad mother? Hey, Mama, did you know? You're my only Mama. There's no good Mama or bad Mama. There's only one. So I don't need any other Mama in this world, and I want to be your one and only Maria. The Maria you want to spoil when you're in a good mood, and the Maria who's a nuisance and you don't want to be around aren't different people. There's only one. So the scary Mama and the nice Mama are the same. To me, they're my one and only Mama. I was such an idiot. I don't need gold. I only had just pulled you by the hand. I was such a stupid Mama. The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more thoroughly than the trees of the forest. Their roars blotted out the world with fear. Rosa still hugging Maria, ready to her gun with one hand. Maria, let's go together. I'll never leave you. Let's always stay together so that Mama never gets lost again. Yeah, we'll be able to see each other soon. We'll meet together forever. We'll be able to see each other in the Golden Land. And then we'll play together. Play with the wolves and sheep puzzle. Mama hasn't shelved more of those puzzles, but I've solved them all, so I'll be the riddle giver. She'd bought it as a birthday present, and then hadn't played with Maria after that first night. Yeah, we'll play together. I promise. Mama. Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. They danced, closed in, and attacked. Come on. Let whoever wants to eat the bullet Maria chambered for me step forward. And sea boats cried, but there were no survivors. Oh my god. Wow. Oh jeez. Whew. No one does it like Ryukishio 7. No one does it like him. It's just so deeply the music, the combination of the music. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift for you in commemoration of your stay. You can stay in these new features in the title screen. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna BRB for like 2 seconds, and then we're gonna do the tea party and then the mysterious one. So I'm going to BRB for like 2 seconds. We're gonna go over BRB, and then I will be right back. So I just have to check on something really quick. I'm back. Hi, my cat was crying, so I had to go attend to him. So I also ran to the restroom really quick. He was so sad. You're so miserable. You're so miserable. What's your problem? You just wanna sit. You just wanna roll around in your cardboard box. And you wanna be pet. You're so baby. My roommate is out, has left our apartment in hell for the weekend, so it's just me, so he's so extra needy, because I'm not home, because I have to go to the station. Oh, you're so sad. You're so sad. You're so cute, but you're so sad. My pathetic son. Oh, he's I actually have him. Hold on. Oh, he's large. Why is he so big? I'll put him on the screen with us. We'll put him on the screen since he's here. Hi. You want to say something for the camera? You want to say something to the people? I have the mic pointed at him right now. Maybe you can hear him making biscuits or scratching against his favorite cardboard box that's on my desk. Oh, yep, he's rubbing against the microphone. Hi! Are you a little guy? Yeah, you're small? Yeah, you're really small, huh? Come on. You're gonna... Yeah, you just want to be... You just want to be held? You just want to be a little baby guy? You just want to be a little baby guy? You're my favorite little baby. Hi. He's so cute. He's just so... He's adorable. My little guy. My little son. My perfect son. Would you get into the occult? How do you feel about the occult? How do you feel about murder? You don't care about anything except drinking bath water. Because you're a little freak. He's so cute. He's being so sweet. Okay, we're doing Tea Party now. Episode 2, Tea Party! Yay! Tea Party with the girlies. Oh, he's pissed now. He just wants to lay now. Purgatorio. Wow, just like Purgatory Station, my Discord server that you can join. I won't. Rosa awoke from her daze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy, as though she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the Ushirimiya mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It probably had been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized they were gold butterflies, it further striking that impression. There was someone across from her. A woman. A lady. It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She's probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded by deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said. Choose whatever you please. If there's anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You could think of it as a reward for your good luck, or as a proper compensation for how you've answered my demands. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective, however, the deal was important enough for me to be deserving of this reward. What's she talking about? I don't know. It's just that I'm very much a witch. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is, to actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden, me. Finally, Rosa started to feel more blood thawing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, as though she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. I'm commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold like the one I gave Kinzo is a trivial matter. After all, you can measure all the pleasures in the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold you can use as much as long as you lived. As the witch blew on her pipe, the multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much of it would all be this worth? It seems sinful to even think of such a number. However, the human world is difficult. I know there's some things that can't be settled no matter how high in the sky you pile up gold. I know there's cracks that can't be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yeah, how about this? Something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud. I can tell right away. It's written in your face in the corners of your heart. Rosa felt a touch of discomfort for this witch. It kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak and was so helpless that it was difficult to move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen. How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep, quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even then, such wounds appear to have healed. They continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely. You heard that, Scum? You're so cute. You're so darling. You're such a little baby. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away. So, your pain was already faded by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You didn't have to say it. No, you can't go on the desk. No, you can sit in your box on the desk, but you can't go on the desk. You don't have to say it, understand. No! No, it's not the time.
fine. Beatrice is here. Let him on. I'm holding him right now. Hold on. He wants to cause trouble. He's purring right now as I hold him. Can you hear him? Let him down. Here we go. Hi. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Heard a little bit of purring. Yeah, he purrs every time we pick him up. He loves being picked up. Rosa gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then the world grew dark, sliding around and around as she was sucked in. Rosa? Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, it's Kraus's voice. Kraus is a real adult, so he's very smart. He hated that stupid kid, Rosa. She was a very scary person. I was often hit and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I'd never really understood what it was or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then later told what the punishment was for in a forced manner, but it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Ava's voice. Ava is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid, Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, and bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Ava, and listen to what she said, but when I obeyed her, for some reason, it always got really mad at me. So I really hated Ava. Oh boy. Trauma! Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, it's Rudolph's voice. Rudolph really knows how to get things done. He hated the stupid kid Rosa. When Kraus was around, he would be friendly with Kraus. When Ava was around, he would be friendly with Ava. And then when Kraus wasn't around, he would be violent like Kraus. When Ava wasn't around, he would play dirty like Ava. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Kraus and Ava weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolph. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids. And you mustn't hold a grudge onto things, you mustn't hold onto grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be part of becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories. Because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult, even though she had been blessed with a daughter and called Maria and was called a mother. She didn't all feel like she'd become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal the pain herself. How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might root time, give you a world where you have no older siblings. That way, your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain. In that sense, you might call it a gift. You wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed. What if you make it so they never starved in the first place? None of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, it's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure of what you earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain. Which means you must know joy in order to compensate you for all your pain. You should be proud of your sufferings. After all, they're what make it possible for you to know pleasure that those without pain will never experience. Those who experience this pleasure cannot help but pass the same joy to others. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all its semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though the opening of a banquet. For an instant, Rosa really did feel like a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time, she felt a bit of an anticlimax. After all, she didn't think bullying by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious. Food is the source of many human pleasures. You must simply eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want. Until the pain of your heart is healed, why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin it, furniture. And the witch clapped twice. There were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. Really did look delicious, but Rosa's body felt as heavy as lead, and there's no way she'd been able to eat. Maybe they'd also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar and gallantly brought a glass of before-winter alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who'd once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a fever.
Oh, Agni, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Gen Express.
She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread from out her mouth. It's a sweet aperitif of noble wrought German-made wine. A wine cocktail of white wine mixed with quince and golden drop. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it a bloody grouse. Sucked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor. Rosa coughed violently. At the bright red stained her face made it look like she'd coughed up blood. You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It's called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same. The last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it using that. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive racine that was a coffin with a life-sized person with many bulb-like things stuck to it. It looked like a sinister torture device. Its unnerving shape, she could tell, with human strength that could be used to tighten and compress something. And it seemed there was still some squeezed dregs remaining, because the bright red remains that stained it. But you can't take more than 1 golden drop at once. No matter what kind of humans you take it from, you can't get more than 1 drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me. Then the witch snapped her fingers and the human compressor began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It almost looked as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up. It was no struggling to get out, but that was wrong. What side would definitely have been squeezed dregs. Using her magic, the wince had one more arrived, the squeezed dregs to show they'd been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bulbs. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice.
I mean, she hates them.
It's fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough. Stand back. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozens people's worth be squeezed. Definitely said only 1 drop can be taken from a single human, and yet she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this.
Oh, Aiden and Nora, welcome aboard. Welcome to Gen Express. Hope you're having a lovely night. Welcome in, welcome in. Bless you, thank you.
The bolden witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom.
Hi, Aiden, welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely night. Welcome in, welcome in.
Do you need me to put it a different way? Have you even forgotten the day this man hit you? When you swallowed the blood that ran in your mouth? That's right, remember that taste. Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry.
How are you? Good! We're just doing some reading.
I believe this aperitif will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory. Once again, the goat-head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth.
Always love reading. It's so good. This visual novel's so peak. No, stop! We're getting interrupted by a little cat again. Would you like to be kicked out? Would you like to leave? You! I know, you're so small. You're so small. Are you gonna go lay on the bed? Nope, that's what I thought. Gonna go lay in your spot?
Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with ghastly sweetness. It was definitely a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillows so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa spit it out. Because of that, the drip was wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth just looks like a blood stain. Now that she knew this ghastly substance was a simple aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. It's a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you made a wish that someday you'd get to choose this to bit, a salad made from Ava's tongue. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had the sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. How does your double-tongued sister taste? It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? It'd probably be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the stimulating pepper seasoning expressed the truth behind those lies as well. As the tongue salad that kept getting pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out. The goat servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. Goes without saying, but I made the salad liberally, using 5 of Ava's tongues. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person, but I can get them over and over. I love your brand. Thank you! Rosa's tears dripped down. She resisted frantically. However, there's only one way she could resist, by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie raised in the skiff of Rudolph's face, soup with broiled brains, liver pate. Look forward to dessert. Not just your siblings, you see. I've lavishly assembled all of them, those who have trusted and whom you are betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet all eternity until your heart is satisfied? For all eternity. You're happy, right? Assure me, Rosa. Don't pretend you hate it. I know you're actually happy, okay? If you want to laugh, then do so. And if you won't feel better until you've heard the raw performance of your annoying siblings' screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. It's just your personality. On the inside, you're so happy your skin is crawling over. And yet on the outside, you're merely pretending that all of this causes you pain, yes? It's all right. Here, there's no need to worry about honor, your public image, or anything. So laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet, Rosa? Stop, please stop. Sorry, I wanted to leave the dessert as a surprise, but let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that'll be enough incentive if you ate up the full course. Your dessert is the beloved daughter that you had to keep pretending to love, oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy? Once you eat this, you'll be released from everything. Freedom, you see? Freedom! Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. You're back? Welcome back! Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm. As Maria gazed at Rosa with a face only that was slightly sad. Mama? Was I a burden? You aren't a burden. As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried into her mouth. As she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed. If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can't stay quiet. Even when you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost. The peeps sweep me up and you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days, I cry and you have to be consoled by the neighbors. You're shamed. What a fucking piece of shit. Fuck you, Rosa. Because of this, I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I'll become delicious oven-baked apples for Mama's sake. And then maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious. Isn't it delicious? Being choked up with greeds of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this, right? Oven-baked apples and your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother? Ooh.
Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye.
Wait, Maria, that's wrong. Stop it. No. Didn't want something like this. Please stop. Please, just stop it already. I don't put it in my mouth. Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Then I have you accept it. That I am a witch. Proclaim it. Shiramir Rosa accept Beatrice as a witch. I accept it. Shiramir Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me. Finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa, the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land, accept it. Perfect. It's perfect. I've accomplished my perfect victory. Come, bring Maria and prepare this delicious oven roast for Rosa. Looks delicious. That voice. Let's go! Yes! Oh my god, we're so fucking back! We're so fucking back. Holy shit! We're so fucking back! I have to get out of my chair. I have to like walk around a little bit. Oh, we're so fucking back. Oh my god. We're so fucking back. That voice. Huh? The arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. What? As they did, the witch struck into pieces, turned into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed her body a short distance away. Dread of... Alexa, play Dread of the Grave. Adler, you bastard. I thought you'd surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture. Me too, but while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry. Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch. Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about someone and eat you up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up, Battler. Sorry to keep you waiting, Aunt Rosa. I'd forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks for you hanging in there. I've got my will to fight back. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see, he doesn't know when to give up. That's what I expect from Inzurumo Kinzo's grandchild. So the chick of the phoenix is a phoenix after all. How dashing. How amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I would have you any other way, Battler. Try to deny me, I'll completely and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make sure you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you, one who has licked my shoes, to taste of defeat over and over again. No problem. I'll teach you that I, Shiramir Battler, a man who can stand back up even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I lost tons of times, but I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again, and then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up. Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show, Beatrice. I'll accept your challenge, Shiramir Battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There are a lot of closed rooms in this game. Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods that you try to talk yourself out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Nazi's room, the lock to the parlor. Use your bizarre specialty, those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs, all slanted with the ridiculous and incredible terms of events, and show me how you can thoroughly deny me. It's useless. It's all useless. Oh? What are you doing? What the Battler doing? I'm like, ee-hee. Every time they have like a showdown like this at the tea party, I'm just like, ee-hee. I literally like, oh my god. It's so good. The fucking cut in and the fucking Dread of the Grave. Man! Ah! I'm so... It's so good. Oh my god, it's peak. Oh my god. I woke up my cat. He was sleeping so calmly. You were so calm.
You're so calm. Hi, baby. He hates dread of the grave. I can't get over this. Holy shit. It's so good. Like... And now I have to sit through the credits again. Oh. I'm like... I broke out into like a sweat from that. I got like chills. Holy shit. Woo! We're so fucking back. Battler is so fucking back. I knew he was gonna be back, but like... genuinely, the way he's just like... Yeah, I think I will smash Beatrice's face into her food. Get fucking wrecked. Oh, Scump. You're so little. Yeah? I'm just purring. Purring up a storm. Purring up a storm, little man. You're just so cute. It's so... I can't stand it. Oh, is it time for witches? I think it's time for witches, guys. Oh god, it's almost 1 a.m. We do need to finish up quickly. After we finish this final bit, I will do this. And then next week we can start chapter 3! Because this one I think was really short. They might be longer now that there's more witches, now that the witches are back to being silly. Dun 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 dun. Well then, did you find that game enjoyable? When a game's that one-sided, it goes beyond riveting and becomes boring. My, you're as harsh as always, considering how proud I was to have carried a development so impactful that it might satisfy the boredom-hating Lady Burncastle. That response is quite harsh. Well, I'll admit it was impactful. However, it was horrible as a fair game. Unless you make the conditions of it more even. Are you saying there's no way to win? Not even for Lady Burncastle. I wonder why you mean by that, Beta. There's no need to try and fool me. I already know that you're no bystander. Are you planning on hiding it? You're an outrageous person to come down to someone else's territory from such a great distance to work against them. You came to watch over the sidelines and probably to push strongly for my defeat. I've guessed right, haven't I? And if so? Truly amusing. That I should be granted a chance to fight against Lady Burncastle, the strongest of witches who invaded Lady Land of the Delta, is truly a pleasure. Saw VN and not Vietnam novels. Brian is not braining well today. Also, hello. Hi, Tubi Pencil! Welcome in. Yo, we are reading Umineko. We are reading classic visual novel Umineko. It's peak. Yes, I'm also pleased. I came all this way because I really wanted to see you, brimming with confidence, fall apart and lose. What an honest person. Even so, it'd be a shame if the contents between me and the late Lady Burncastle was resolved without at least one observer. You called her here, didn't you? That kid.
Is she here? Yay! Yippee! When your girlfriend who you're in a situationship with shows up to your death game that you've been participating in. I found you. I finally found you, Beard Castle. How are you, Lambda? Looks like you've got lots of spare time too. I wonder if fates the pair of who hates boredom should run into each other again.
Stupid kid. Can't you see you've only won against me because of a little luck and a problem of compatibility? After that, you became such a brag, and now you're even picking a fight with Beatrice? Shouldn't you learn your place? Beatrice is strong, and she's even more brutal than I am. Just a bit. By the way, I don't go shortening people's names without their permission. You're dumb too, Beto. If this kid's in your game, she'll make a mess of everything.
I certainly didn't bring Lady Lambda Delta here to watch from the sidelines. After informing me that you were betting against me, she said she would bet against you. You're still holding a grudge, aren't you?
Because I'm the strongest witch in the universe, but I lost you, which means I'm not the strongest. So any enemy of yours is my ally. I have to figure out a good voice for Lambda. I don't like this one.
And there you have it. With the great Lady Berncastle as our opponent, this may not even count as a handicap. But it should make for a good entertainment. Do as you like. Now that I've been exposed, allow me to get serious. That would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. Lady Lambda Delta, let's enjoy our precious time together.
Yeah, I'll be counting on you, Lady Beatrice. I've been portrayed pretty bad by her, too. Until the two of us smash her up and pay her back double, I won't be able to rest.
I'll be counting on you, Lambda. And you too, Beato. No matter what we fight over, this will be a very significant battle for us all.
That's right. Of course I don't plan on losing, but we've got a goal of beyond who wins and who loses.
After all, we hate boredom. The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed. That's right. I should thank you, Beato. It looks like I'm finally able to escape my boredom. Do your best to entertain me, along with Lambda Delta. Leave it to me.
If we're decided, Beato, let's start a strategy meeting right now. I know all of this girl's weak points, and I'll teach you all of them.
And let Lady Lambda Delta, you were defeated by her.
I won't tell you. I won't tell you.
She's never boring, that Lady Lambda Delta. Isn't she? Take care of her. She gets lonely easy. I see. So she's one of those that are popular those days. As expected from Lady Lambda Delta. Quite cutting edge. Go already. That kid's waiting for you to chase after her. Then, if you'll excuse me...
I love the voices. Thank you.
See you next game.
They're girlfriends, but it's also complicated.
I'm sorry. The troublesome one came, but I didn't mind it. More importantly, things turned out ugly. I thought I experienced a very tragic end in Lambda's game, but this one is exceptionally horrible. I can't say I don't understand why you're hugging your knees and closing up your heart. If you meet a fate like that a few more times, it'll take a lot less than 100 years to kill your heart. Beato saw through me, so I'll confess. You're now just like I was in the past, when I was imprisoned inside Lambda's world. Shut inside a labyrinth of cruel fate, tormented by a witch, in a manner of speaking. I am a witch who was born from there, so maybe I'm like an older sister to you. So I decided I'd lend you my power. However, even compared to my fate, yours is truly brutal. Not only do I sympathize with you, I almost brought you to tears by your tragic fate. But please don't lose heart. Please don't submit to Beato, no matter what. Certainly that child's game is quite unfair. I've only been allowed to glimpse the game board. but the unfair and clever devices they set up on the stage is so disgusting. But I imagine they've surpassed those of Lambda Delta's main board. What's even more frightening is that when that kid moves a piece, she doesn't always make the best possible move. This is where she's very different from Lambda. Lambda always uses an overpowering number of pieces to make the best possible move in order to win. But Beato sometimes intentionally goes easy on her opponent when she moves her pieces. Since we're in trouble, let's try to seek out our strong strategy by looking at their moves. This creates a very formidable amount of noise in our information. It might cause a troublesome amount of disorder. However, as in chess, though a player might be able to create some noise for their opponent with a useless move, they'll still miss out on one more valuable move they avoided. In other words, it's not like your opportunities to take advantage of this are zero. Although you may not be able to believe it, that analogy holds true for this game as well. Even though those developments look so overpowering, there's actually a weak point. A weak point that almost looks like she wanted you to take advantage of it. Though, I don't know if it's a trap or she's teasing us. Anyway, don't surrender. I won't stop thinking. Don't deny any possibility. As long as you continue to hold the will to fight, Beato will not win. What's the most important element in defense during a witch's battle? Rather than trying to win, try not to lose. If accepting her means your defeat, then you definitely mustn't accept her. Making you accept witches, there's no longer any doubt this is one of Beatrice's victory conditions. Now that I've announced that I'm your ally, I will make a great effort as possible to lend you my power. Make an effort yourself as well. If you're still hugging your knees, quickly stand up. In times like this, what did I used to say again? Go for it. Yay. Nipa. It's so embarrassing doing this. I've done so much for you, so quickly stand back up. OMG Umineko, which arc are you on? We are at the end of chapter 2. At the witches part, with the afterword of chapter 3. We're gonna start chapter 3 next week. There you are. I wonder where Burn shrank off to. McNalja. Have I heard about Hafa? Yeah, have a nice day. Got him. Thank you, Mac. Thank you, Magnolia. Welcome, welcome. There you are. I wonder where Burn shranked off to. Could she be any more lame? Even so, just like usual, the pieces Burn chooses are pretty shabby. It's the same with chess, right? All of your pieces were pawns, you'd have zero chance to win, right? Ayo, you knew? Of course, I always knew. If all of your pieces were rooks and bishops, you definitely wouldn't lose. Well, last time, right when I felt just a little pity and said she'd start with her pieces anywhere she wanted, that idiot Burn, without taking notice of my compassion, started with all of her pawns on my side of the board. What's up with that? What was that? It wasn't a loss or anything. Just remembering it makes me queasy. Because of that, I won't be able to rest until I see Burn's speechless face. And since you, Burn's piece, fucked up so bad, I'm feeling just great. Plus, you may not look it, but that girl really hates to lose. So, I bet she's off somewhere grinding her teeth and crying her eyes out right now. How totally lame. Come on, laugh with me. Wait a sec. Are you still hugging your knees? You're already like this just because Beato got a little serious? Could you be any more pathetic? You're so pathetic, I'll help you just a little bit. I, the great Lady Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty and the strongest in the universe, will bring your hopelessly low chance of winning just a little bit closer to certainty. You should thank me. You know, Beatrice may be a really cruel and powerful witch, but she's no match for me. Why? 'Cause she's soft. Though she'll set up the board in any way that'll let her win with just a few more moves, she'll intentionally avoid cornering you. She'll do things like take worthless pieces and place excess pieces on the board to make things more one-sided. Simply put, she's got a bad habit of playing around as soon as she thinks she's won. Almost all the various attacks to hurt you and Burn look like an utter waste and overkill to me. In other words, she's got a weakness, and you've got a chance. See? She's an opponent to be afraid of, right? Sometimes she makes mistakes, her means for ends. She's too much dark fun. Sometimes that even ends up creating and exposing her own weak points. For a super powerful witch like me, it's hard to understand why she's able to act tough. Why she lowers her own chances of winning. But well,
Because of that, a witch like Byrne, who likes to thoroughly read her opponents, has a really bad affinity with her. Because reading her doesn't work. Because it's really Byrne to read and handle a straightforward, honest type like me. Annoyingly enough. Well, still, a super firepower type like me can flat out beat up a wide-range barrage type. Bulls, welcome aboard. Welcome to Get Express. I hope you're having a lovely night. Welcome in. Well, still, a super firepower type like me can flat out beat up a wide-range barrage type like Beatrice. So it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. I'm paper, Beato is rock, which means Burns is scissors. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Even though my paper loses to Burn scissors, if I was a sheet of super paper, which is way more awesome than normal paper, I could beat even scissors, right? Basically, I, Lady Lambda Delta, am super paper. Looks like you've regained a bit of your color. That Beto, she's having fun torturing some piece called Rosa. At a glance, you'd think she has nasty taste, right? Wrong. She's just killing time, hoping you'll stand back up in return. It's a move to fire up your righteous indignation by intentionally doing something detestable. Man, I hate kids like that. Anyway, I'll head on back. Ugh, don't tell anyone about me helping you out just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I helped you because I wanted to save you, okay? I, the strongest witch in the universe, had my throne stolen away when I lost to Byrne, so I gotta take that throne back from her. But if she loses to Beto here, it means Beto will get the position of strongest next, right? Well, it's not like I'm complaining. It'd be easier to steal the throne back from Beto, but then I wouldn't be satisfied, you see. I'll defeat Byrne. And I'll take back my position as the strongest. It's not like I'm really helping you, okay? I won't forgive you if you make Byrne cry.
Oh, girls. Oh, women. Oh, they're really something. Are they, you know? Twirls my hair.
Okay. Oh my god. Whew. Okay. It is almost 1 a.m. So, I think it is time to wrap up. I've been going for almost 4 hours, and my voice is so raw. It hurts, and my cat is so sad and small, and he wants to be held. So, we're gonna figure out who's online right now. It's a little bit of an odd time for me, for my raids, so we can see who's online. Usually I end a little earlier than this, so there's usually a bit more to raid, more. Let's see. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Because we can raid. Let's see. We've got a couple people online, but there are people I've raided before. I'm kind of like feeling. Let's see. Boop boop boop. Beep boop bop. And. Because Nene is online. Oh, Yoko is streaming Final Fantasy. We can go hang out with Yoko, I think. Let's just raid Yoko. Alrighty. Okie dokie. We are going to wrap up here once again. We will be streaming on. I'm gonna make myself big. I'm big now. But we will be streaming tomorrow on Parfai's channel, so at twitch.tv/ParfaiVT. We'll be playing some more Goody Two Shoes, some more horror to go with our horror. I've kind of been in like a horror mood. I'm like vibing with it. I've been having so much fun with Umineko. I was like, oh man, I'm so nervous to get back to Umineko. It's gonna be so long. And then we finished chapter 2? Odd times. It's very odd times here on the Rockinjima Island. But we are going to do it. We're gonna next week we can start chapter 3. It's gonna be really awesome, it's gonna be really cool. But other than that, after Friday on Parfai's channel, we will be streaming, I'll be doing a karaoke stream on Saturday. It'll be really fun. I'm gonna sing some songs I've been practicing. But yeah, that's really all I have. So I'm gonna set this up really quick. We are going to... Here's our raid message. Get your choo-choos in order because we're heading off to the next station. Our next stop is over at Yoko Draco. She's a lovely River Dragon VTuber and a good friend of mine. She's very, very sweet. But we are going to say hello. It's gonna be really fun. Let's head over here. Pop that. Alrighty. Alright, once again, I'm Serum, your ghost train conductor on the Gehenna Express, your #1 afterlife travel service. Our next stop is over at Yoko Draco, and I will see you guys soon. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Parfai's channel. If not, I will see you on Saturday. But it's good to have you. Thank you guys for coming to our lovely incarnation of book club tonight, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!